Peace to the family out there. You are now tuned in to G Consciousness Live. Just chilling. It's late night. I know it is. I'm up in Milwaukee. Just chilling, man. Up here at the gig, just in the truck, just resting up, getting ready for this long trip I got to take. But yeah, let's see, invite a couple of people to this chat room. See who all up. Let's see, can we get Michael Edwards in here? Michael Edwards, Mr. Controversial. See, can we get him in here? We're gonna put Michael Edwards up in here. See, can we get Kevin G up in this piece? What's happening to the fam out there? Who else can we get up in here? Who else can we get up in here? Who else can we get in here? I know it's late night. Let's see. Send this link out. Let people know. We live at 5. We live at 5. Oh man, this truck finna get to making this loud noise. That boy Michael Edwards, boy. Let's see if we can get him up in here. He was talking all noise. Come out and play, Michael Edwards. Come out and play, Michael Edwards. Let me make sure my sound putting out right, matter of fact. Just got done watching Sonetta's interesting show tonight. That boy, what was that, Ariel? That boy was over there clowning. That boy didn't pull out one Bible scripture. That boy, he let Tazariak smash him. That's a shame, man. That's a shame. That is a shame. Alright, so we post this on Facebook. See, can we get this up on Facebook? Man, I know y'all ain't sleep out there. Y'all faking sleep. Some of y'all in these clubs, I know what's going on. Exactly what's going on. You can't fool me. You can't sit here. Y'all remember that? That boy Tazariak had that boy go hard with it. That boy had the fringes on the pants. How you get them deals on there? Yeah, them deals. He had the fringes on the pants with the boots on. That boy go all the way with it. All the way. And I think that's when them brothers get to dealing with that leather they got, I think that'd be real Wilson leather. I don't think that's that fake stuff. That ain't that pleather. That's that Wilson's leather. The boy go all the way with them fringes. They ain't got the ones just them old ones that's made out of just regular yarn and thread. Them boys got fringes made out of Wilson's leather. They plays no games. ISUPK is no cowards. Them brothers, anybody that wear the amount of leather like that, them brothers, man, I'm telling you, boys in to win it, man. Them boys are in it to win it, man. Boys ain't playing no games out here. Y'all better recognize and understand that. Y'all better recognize and understand that. They in it to win it with the leather on. For what's up, peeps? Yeah, yeah, buddy. I miss my fam. I miss my family. My la familia. Uh, see what's going on. What's going on, man? There's been a lot of stuff. People have been acting crazy. It's crazy out here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That way. All right, so let's see what's going on. Let's see who in the house. Let's see who's in the house. Who's this about? I'm talking about, man, I know y'all be asleep, man. I know it. I know y'all woke, man. Y'all better, somebody better come up in here, man. Stop playing sleep. Some of y'all leaving out from the club, man. I already know. This is, this is, come on up in here, get some of this conversation. Oh, what's that about? What is that about? What is that about? Let's see if we can get Michael Edwards up in here, man. That dude's a clown. Michael Edwards. I know this brother see this hangout because that's what type of stuff he be on. He's a late night creeper. Who wants the link, man? Who wants the link to come on in? Anybody reach out to Michael Edwards, tell him to come in here, man. Before I start flaming him. I put the flame on that boy real fast. I played no games at all. That brother was in that he was on Sonetta show talking heavy. Talking heavy. Let's see how we gonna play this here. Alright, let's see. We gonna get some brothers up in this piece. We gonna get you brothers up in here. Hold on. What's up with this thing? This thing ain't right. No, this ain't right. If y'all want the link to come in here, I will put the link out. Just let me know. I will send you a invite. Oh, I'm saying right. Hold on, I'm doing something real quick, but I will get to you. All right, there we go, right there. So let's see if that'll work. What is up with this? This is weird. All right, let's see if we can get that right there. That's weird. All right, I think that's. Oh, let me get that. All right. Chris Berkeley, man, get in this hangout, bro. Get in this hangout, dude. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, Chris. I'm finna send you the link, matter of fact. I'm finna send you the link, brother. You finna get this link. And who is Vincent? Oh, okay. That was earlier today. Okay. Let me get this brother this link real quick. Yeah, man. That dude, man, over there at Deacon Hakar, man, is a clown, man. That brother can rap, but the brother just a mess, man. That brother is a clown with it. Let me get the link to this room. That brother is Bozo the clown. Bimbo Slice. That's what I call that brother. Bimbo Slice. That brother like Bimbo Slice with that that veil on his face. That boy's beard looked like a veil on his face. That brother got a veil on his face. Chris Berkeley. Where Chris at? I just seen the brother. I just seen that brother. That's weird. This thing ain't acting right. Let me see if I can send him an invite. Yeah, buddy. Man, these brothers couldn't be asleep, man. These brothers be up all night. Hebrews stay up all night. They don't sleep. I know. Them brothers be lurking, man. Them brothers be seriously lurking. Alright, put this link out there. And then alright, so let me grab this link. I'm gonna start sending these links to you brothers, man. Get these brothers in these hangouts. These brothers be lurking. Loon Tune, what's happening? Nah, man, we just basically just talking, man. Just talking, late night Bible chatting fun. If you want the link, just let me know. Hold on, somebody send me a message. Let me see. Peace to the sister Raquel. Peace and blessings to the sister. Ooh. Let me send a link over to these clowns over here over at Maccabees TV. The brother Caesar Borgia. Hey, get that brother Caesar Borgia in here, man. Hold on for a minute. Caesar Borgia. Hey, get that brother Caesar Borgia in here, man. Hold on for a minute. Chris Berkeley, man, get in this hangout, bro. Get in this hangout, dude. We got a lot. My wife is definitely up. Caesar Borgia, man, get on up in here, bro. We got something we need to talk about, bro. You was on that panel going heavy on me. I heard you. You should have just kept your mouth closed. And then you got Tazariak. That boy country as ever, man. That boy had them fringes on his boots like that. I said, this boy look a mess, man. My wife just told me, she knows already. And she just like, I'm just going to call him. Knows that I'm live. And I'm just going to call him. I'm just going to call him. Caesar Borgia. And then Tazariak got the nerve. What's crazy is that he's on the left-hand side of Tazariak. So Tazariak will be considered a goat. He's a goat. He is a goat in the community. I ain't gonna lie, man. Tazariak punished that boy tonight, though. I ain't even gonna stunt. He did, definitely. He punished that boy, man. I mean, dude didn't pull out one. I mean, for you to be Torah-based, you supposed to have pulled out at least one scripture, at least, man. Like, he didn't even know certain things in the scriptures, man. It was just ridiculous, man. Like, it's just like he came all the way to Harlem for what? He came to Harlem for nothing, man. That boy had a slim afro with a skinny cap on his head. So, man, look at this dude, man. The boy came up there with that that boy hair looked like that you know, we used to have the old microphone with the spongy material on it. It's that spongy. That boy had that material on his scalp with that slim cap on his head. That boy was up there. He said, "My name is Ariel." He spelled it all the way out. That boy had so many dashes in his name. You would have thought that boy was in a 100-yard dash the way he had. Man, he was dashed out, one of y'all. Boy, that boy real digital with all them dashes in his name. He debated Tazariak. Tazariak smashed that brother, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. He smashed that brother, man. He ripped that brother to shreds. Yeah. But Tazariak know who he know who to play with. You know what I'm saying? Tazariak know who to play with. That's why he tries to, you know, when you go on his platform, he try to do little slick stuff. He been in the game a long time. He's a great speaker. That boy's a great speaker, man. But that boy need to get his theology up. You know, that boy said, we be out there helping the people. Yeah. I love black people. You don't love them all that much, spreading all that poison. But yeah, anybody can get out there and go feed somebody. We got people that do that all day long. We got white supremacy. They'll feed you. Right after they whip your behind. You know what I'm saying? Peace, get in. What's going on, bro? How you feeling? What's going on, fam? Bam, get in, boy. Your doctrine is terrible, man. You know you ain't teaching the Bible, the gospel at all, brother. You ain't teaching the gospel at all. But it's still cool, fam. You peaceful. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna have to teach you some of that gospel, brother. Tony Ted, what's happening, brother? That brother Gideon, man. It shall be what it shall be. Yeah. It should need to be the gospel. That's what it needs to be. But you ain't trying to teach that. You trying to teach something else. This brother just didn't sit on that high seat and just say, I'm Israel. Like that matter. You know, yeah. Hey. And you got Tazaryak, he swear up and down he an Israelite. Some of you brothers is Israelite, but you're not finna make everybody Israelite. You're not gonna do that. And I ain't gonna let you do that. You know what I'm saying? Because we know Hashard is pure Hamite. That brother is not. That brother ain't got a beard on his face. That brother's face super naked. That brother's face is burned like Michael Edwards' grass. Michael Edwards ain't got no grass on his line. He got all them bulldogs and them pits and stuff laying on that bare ground with no grass. I know them dogs hate that boy's yard. They be going to go creep on the neighbor's yard, sleeping on their grass because he ain't got no grass on his yard. They probably go over there and eat some grass and bring it over there and try to make a patch so they can lay on some grass because his yard is bare. He can't even get no cardboard for the dogs. He's so scandalous. Michael Edwards is a scandalous dude, man. I gave you the link, Michael Edwards. Come on in, brother. Come on in. We got to talk about some things. Yeah. Man, vocab came with that heat. They been chasing vocab ever since, man. Every time you look around, you got a Deacon a car, man. That boy got that. He got a look like he got a bib on his face. That beard like a black bib on his face. He like a Sunni a Sunni Muslim with that beard like a mask on his face. He walking around here. You got Gorilla Hebrew looking like a straight hobo. That boy looked like he gathered cans on one specific day of the week, probably on the Sabbath. That boy working on the Sabbath, he grabbing cans, going in trash cans. That boy out there, Sakari out sick Kari. Them brothers out there, man, with that them brothers out there with that them cut off sleeves tied on their head, trying to put that work in. That boy Sakari, Gorilla Hebrew, he tied one of them shirts on his head and didn't wash and one of that sleeve smelled like nothing but armpit. He's an old musty goat. Yeah, I talk to Sakari them sometimes, man. They call sometimes, but that brother Deacon the car, man, that brother, man, all he do is just want to eat lamb and party all the time and try to get multiple wives and rap about it. That brother can rap. He go hard. He go hard. You can tell he rapping behind the bird though, because his voice be kind of muffled, like he on a mic or something. That bird like a mic or something. He be going in though. He go definitely in. He go in. Yeah, that boy, man, Gorilla Hebrew, man, that boy trip, man. What he said about his mama, that boy don't believe in the law at all. He do not rock with the Torah. Because if he rock with the Torah, he supposed to he cut his days when he start disrespecting his mom like that. He cut his days when he start disrespecting her like that. He don't even know it, right? He don't even know it. He ain't giving no type of honor at all. How you gonna try to honor the father, which you ain't never seen, but you can't even honor your mother and this on this earth? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of weird to me. Like You never seen the Father, you know, and we know we definitely give glory to the Most High, to the Creator first above all things, but you've never seen the Father, and He told you to honor your mother and father, you know. So you see them every day. They birthed you out, and you can't give the respect that the Lord asks you to give to your mother and father. Even the heathen that don't even know the Father, or even if they atheists, or they may be a Gnostic or whatever, whatever they may be, however you say it, they may be that, but they still got reverence to where they honor their mother and father and respect them because they brought them into existence in this earth. So there's a respect there. You know, God brought us into existence, so we respect Him, and He expect us to respect our mother and father just as well, and that's why He put it in the commandments. And this brother just goes against that altogether, altogether. But he'll be out there on the streets though, and you could tell that them brothers spun off from GMS, man, because you could tell by the garments that they wear. They ain't them ISUPK garments or them IUIC garments. They them little you can make what they got. Like if y'all ever seen what them onions come in like. No, I'm gonna say potatoes. Like them, you had the potato sacks. Remember them old potato sacks? That if you rip them a little bit, a little straw come up out of them. They got them little cheapo Deacon the car. His garment so cheesy. He just took it, just split the top of it, he got it off the windowsill, split the top of it, and just put a little couple of tassels on it with safety pins, and went out there on the block. That's what he did. Peace, 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 CMB. So that's what he did. Yeah, but man, the dude, man, just all the way together clowns, man. Yeah, but the brother man, Ashar, man. Yeah, man, that brother ain't Israel. He's not Israel. Y'all better quit rocking with that brother. Caesar Borgia is not Israel. I'm not finna let y'all do what y'all doing. Y'all not finna put Caesar Borgia up there, you know what I'm saying, with the crown on his head. Y'all not finna do it, man. This brother, you can tell the brother get drunk on the Sabbath. His eyes be red like Jesus. You know what I'm saying? He get drunk on the Sabbath. Yeah, I seen a little picture when y'all go to his page. He got a little bottle on the Sabbath. He getting his Noah on. He going into the vineyard. You know what I'm saying? Getting his Noah on. Yeah, but if any of y'all want the link, we can get in here. I'm just waiting till y'all get in here, just killing time for reals. Y'all can get the link and come on in. I know it's late night. I'm just chilling for reals. Just chilling. Sitting up here. I'm in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the weather gonna be like tonight, but I know one thing. I'd rather be at the crib and be at home with my fam. But hey, I'm out here, man, on this road trying to get this money. Get this money. Cause you know what? I realized that if I don't get money, I can't be a blessing. And I love to be a blessing, you know what I'm saying? So I got to ask God to give me strength so I can get wealth, so I can be a blessing, you know what I'm saying? So not only do I teach, I can also be able to supply just as well, you know what I'm saying? I ain't asking nobody for nothing for reals. I'm trying to get something to somebody. I'm trying to help people out. That's what it's about, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. So I hate when people come and ask me something and I don't have it, you know what I'm saying? It really saddens my heart. So we definitely want to position ourselves to where we givers, where we helping people out that's less fortunate, you know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. But yeah, So that's what we try to do. Psycho atheist. What's up, man? You trying to get up in here? You trying to get up in this room, man? Is right. Long Tune 223. It says whoever curses his father or mother must be put to death. Man, bro. You just don't know. You just cut that brother up with that script, man. You just cut that brother up with that script, bro. You definitely did. You chopped that brother to pieces with that. Let's see if we can get G-Man up in this room. I'm finna put you in the panel, issue. You be dodging, man. You be acting like you be scared to talk to me, man. You know, don't be scared to talk to me, brother. I'm calm and collective, you know. You know. Let's see if we can get this brother up. And I send you an invite. If you wanna invite, put your yeah, man, I want Michael to step in here too, man. I done gave Michael the link and everything. Michael be dodging, acting scary too. He's sitting back just probably listening. He and that brother out there in Cali, man, with them. I don't know what's up with that brother, man. These brothers starting to get a little bit older in age. These brothers, man. Let's see. Who is this in here? Gideon, what's happening, bro? I don't know what Gideon. What's up with Gideon up in this piece?
No, let me put my piece on. You hear me? Hold up.
All right. Sound like you've been drinking.
Yeah, what's good, my brother? What's happening?
What's happening, man? What you got to drink over there, man? I might come through.
Man, I got some tea, man.
Oh,
Straight up tea, no lemon.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, man.
Having a tea party over there.
Yeah, bro. You know, right for the Boston Massacre. You feel me?
Ah, man, do your thing, man. All praise. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, man.
Let me ask you this question, because I usually don't talk to people, man, that don't have birds. Do you got a bird?
It depends, man. It depends. Sometimes I let it grow. Sometimes I won't. But you know, I kind of have a little Indian in my family, so you know, I really don't have too much hair on my face. You know.
Oh, okay.
It caused me to grow a bit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I told you, man. It's like it's like I'm kind of like I'm more like Christians, even though y'all got it misconstrued. It's like I kind of understand. Y'all have some understanding because like we can't, like when y'all say we can't keep the law, y'all say that as a reason to not do the law. Whereas I look at it as we can't observe all of the law. So when we can't, that's when we need to recognize and thank the Most High for Yahshua, because He's the sacrifice. So if I got to go to work on a Sabbath, you know, Yahshua is there for me, and one day He's gonna bless me, so I won't have to work on a Shabbat. So yeah, bro, you know, I don't have hair on my face, bro. So you know, I have a little beard, like a little goatee, but you know, the Most High, you know, so what? I'm not Israel. I mean, that's crazy. I'm not saying that's what
Yeah,
you
man,
say, but
you gotta have a bird
it's
to be.
people that say that.
Yeah, you gotta have a
Yeah,
bird.
man, and you know, yeah,
But let me
I
ask you,
heard a lot of crazy.
right. Let me ask you this though, because I don't, you know, I think that if a Christian is really like it depends on what you're saying, because like if you say that when you say the law of Moses, and the reason why we say the law of Moses is because Moses is the mediator of the Old Testament, of the old contract or covenant, and that's all a covenant is just a contract between two or more parties, right? So let me ask you this: are you up under the first covenant, or do you believe that there's two covenants, or what you believe in?
Nah, it's a new covenant. Right.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah,
Nah, it's a new covenant, and it's
It's
only
it's only
one,
one,
you know,
you know,
and
and
that's the
that's the
like there's only one name under heaven that anybody can be saved under.
Right.
So if you under that name, you under that one covenant. So, you know. But let me ask you this: what's the difference? I mean, what's the difference between the so-called old covenant, which it is, and the new covenant? What's the difference to you?
There's some things that contrast there, within the terms of both agreements. But that I see there. But and like and I find it odd that when you look at your profile picture, the lion got a bird. I mean, you can't grow a beard, bro. You can't have a bird. I mean, what's up with that?
I, I mean, if I could, I would, man. But it'll be real like patchy, like it really don't grow fully, you know. I mean,
Right.
I got a profile on Facebook, man. You can see my picture, man. You know, it's a little goatee, but I'm thankful for that, man, because I'm kind of up in age, but I've been blessed, to kind of keep, a good appearance about myself. So praise
Right.
the Most High, man.
Honestly, bro, I think you a pure Hamite just like me, bro. But I got a bird though.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Hamite,
But
huh?
let's get
But
back to that.
you was looking like a Hebrew straight out the twist chip when you was on Sonetta, man. You was looking like a beat up Hebrew on that, man, when they showed
But
that
nah,
screen
nah,
on you,
bro.
man.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, I was looking like a little beat up Hebrew, bro. But you know what? Yeah. So let's get back to the point, man. And now here's the thing. Now, when I say contrast, right,
Right,
there's a couple of things that's in the law, that we see the law of Moses, the first contract that we see that contrast, you know, uh, the second covenant or second agreement in terms. For instance, like you know what comes up under the blood is what's in the contract. The vessels of the tabernacle, the the book, the people, and then
right.
we also
Everything that the blood is under, that's what's protected by the blood, which is
right,
right.
and the
Okay,
tabernacle itself. So
right,
you definitely have these things to where whatever the blood touches up under. It's just like when you look at the Pesach, a Pesach, whatever that blood touch is they up, they come up under that and they're separated from that death angel or the judgment.
right,
So
right,
Israel come up under the blood as a people. The vessels come up under the blood as the people. The tabernacle and also the book. Now there are terms and conditions with that because when I say Torah, I'm basically saying teachings and instructions. That's what I'm talking
right.
about.
That's basically that's what it is. Right. All right, go ahead. I'm
Right.
with
So
you.
so when I say that there are certain things, for instance, Tazariak mentioned tonight, he said that the difference between a stranger, which Tazariak is just a contradiction within itself when he brings his theology according to the biblical text. I mean, it's just awful and ridiculous. And he mad because people can call him on him, so he won't engage with nobody that knows that he contradicts himself according to that book. Now,
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm probably the furthest away from what we call the camp doctrine. I really
right,
don't subscribe to none of that. I mean, the African is not your brother, and because I mean, you want to get into that game, you get into a slippery slope of trying to, look at a person and judge who they is. That's crazy.
right. So we gotta look at this book, right? Its teachings and its instructions. Now when we look at it,
Right,
for instance, I brought up how Tazariak he says that the stranger he cannot eat of something that dieth. I mean, if he could eat something that dieth of itself, but Israel cannot, right? So Israel,
right,
they cannot eat of something that dieth of itself, but the stranger can. So there's a difference there. There's some type of difference. There's some type of
right,
barrier that's there between uh uh um the Gentiles who can partake of things this unholy or things that are not this unclean for us, because that's unclean. If it dies, you can't eat it. You know what I'm saying? You
Right. You can't. Yeah.
can't partake of that. So
Mutton. You can't eat mutton. You can't eat none of that stuff. You know, none of that.
right. And so remember, just to even participate in the ritual, and when I say participate in the ritual, meaning the slaughter of something or shedding blood points to Christ. So you got to know that. So whenever you see some blood being shed or somebody participating in the ritual or sitting down or slaughtering something, you know, Israel is that's pictured as Christ, because remember Christ stated already, that the priest partook of the altar as well as the people. And
Right.
so he says, eat of my blood, drink of my blood and eat of my flesh.
Right.
They didn't understand that. They
Right.
couldn't
I mean,
understand what he was.
that's what I use with the non-messianics try to use that like we eating flesh and we're flesh eaters and but and here it go, and this is why I have a problem with a lot of Christians. It's like when the scriptures say Yahshua is, all of these things that happened was a shadow of Yahshua. That's what that means. Like, when you look in the Old Testament, you see all of the things that the priest did. That's what it was nothing but a mirror of what was in heaven. So Yeshua is, he is in heaven. So when he came down, it was no need, or now it is no need for these things. So, when Yeshua said, eat my flesh, or do this in remembrance of me, that's what he was harkening back to. So yeah, I'm definitely with you on that.
Right. So here's the thing. So he's this is a ritual. And so everything, if the Gentiles, they're strangers among Israel, they can eat of the Passover. We know that they're eating of other things, but they also have some type of division, some type of separation there, because we see that under the Old Testament, as Tazariak stated, the stranger can eat of something that die of itself. There's something that just die, and so something that just die of itself is not really pictured as Christ. So it's foreshadowing something. So there's a division there. Now in the New Testament, we see that Peter, Paul, James, and all of them, they have this whole meeting concerning the circumcision, and also keeping the law of Moses, or somewhat of that matter. And I will agree that the brother that was speaking tonight, when he talked about the Noahide laws, he was correct on that one, because that's what we see this initiated to them within the new covenant. When we look at the far as the Gentiles, or those who are who are
Wait,
fellow earth, huh?
so where does the Noahide laws fit into you know your religious beliefs? Or I mean, what do you
Right. Me
believe is a
personally,
place for?
me personally, I come up under, I'm a fellow heir with Israel, a fellow heir. I am a Gentile. So most people will say, well, how can a black be a Gentile? Well, a Gentile just mean a goyim or goy or whatever, a nation outside of Israel. You know what I'm saying, basically.
Right.
So you have Israelites that are called Gentiles, or they can be called a nation or goyim too, just as well. But for the most part, I am part of the goyim or goyim. Dealing with the plurality. One of these nations is outside of Israel, and so
So by you saying that, do you think the New Testament was written just to Israelites?
I think that it somewhat was, but then
Okay.
God's extension of Him is always there. It's always there, like God extending His family, or why He chose Abraham, or why He chose Israel in the first place. It's always concerning the seed, nothing but concerning the seed. So, and the seed is Christ, and what Christ was going to do, as far as how He would establish the nations. Now, with all fairness, I'm just gonna be honest with you, and I'm just gonna say this outright, and this might be offensive to somebody that is considers himself to be an Israelite. But with all fairness and with all due respect, the gospel was preached to the sons of Adam before it was even preached to Abraham. And so when it was preached to Abraham, Abraham was added to it, and not only and Israel was also added to it. So to be honest, um, salvation became uh, 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 to be carried by Israel. But before it was carried by Israel, the sons of Adam was told that they will receive that the seed will come. They was told about a seed coming in the earth, Genesis 3:15. So really, with all due respect, the Gentiles was just getting back or just receiving back what they was already promised in Genesis 3:15.
Right.
Already
Nah,
promised.
I definitely agree with that, but probably not with the veracity you probably trying to throw it with, because if I'm not mistaken, you a dispensationalist, huh?
Yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry to hear that, man. But
Sorry
so
to hear that.
basically, what y'all do is y'all. I mean, that part what you're saying is right. You know what I'm saying? It's like because you know I don't want to say you're specifically right because then I would have to see where you're getting that information from, and I do know that they look at it as the word of God or the gospel or whatever you want to term it. Because I still want to ask you what you call a gospel, but it was given to man according to dispensationalism. From what the little I do know about them, it was given to like God gave something to Adam. Adam didn't do right, then he gave it to you know I guess Noah. Something to that effect. But what I will say is this: I do believe that the Most High, he was the God of all man, of all the sons of not only Adam, but all of the sons of Noah. And what happened in the case of Israel is like they say in the book, history, is nothing new under the sun. What we're experiencing now is what we as Israel faced in Egypt. But the thing is, everybody was black, so-called black back then. So it was blacks doing it to black people. But Israel was born out of a group of people being oppressed in Egypt. And when they came out of Egypt, there were not only Israelites with them, but it was Egyptians with them also. So, you know, the world at that time got to a point where it was so wicked that the Most High chose Jacob to be a nation of priests to the world. Because, kind of like what you were saying earlier, you know, uh, the word of the Most High was given to man, before it was given to Israel. Israel, came late on the scene. So, I mean, I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? But now, as it stands, salvation is of the Yuhadim, and there's so many ways a person can understand that. So, I
Right.
hope that
Well,
answers
actually,
your.
when you say the when you say salvation, is of the Jew, you do realize that that is also um, salvation is from the Jew. In other words, you know,
Right, from, right.
right, and
It's
so when you say from, reason why it's from the Jew is because God has gave the Israelites the advantage over every nation because they had the oracles of God. In other
right,
words, they had the word of God, and He gave them that, so they had an advantage over all the other nations. Because remember, after Genesis and 12, the redactor he's basically just showing us what he wants to show us. He's showing us that something took place Genesis 12. I mean, and I don't know why these campers can't look at the narrative and see what's going on. Genesis 12, we have, Genesis 11 and 10 and 12. We have it to where we have this government system this that has arose, and to where people have just become to defy God as a whole, just as one people, just in defiance against God. And so we see that Nimrod is being mentioned as the mighty hunter. Why? Because he's Lord over, he's a hunter. And if you can hunt back then, especially during them times where animals was tearing people to pieces because of a lack of food, and he's lording over those animals and getting the strength of those animals into the kingdom, then we can kind of see that where people would kill something. Then I killed the ox, and so I'm aware the ox horns or the ox had, and so I got the strength of the ox now, so I'm the ox king. Or I killed the lion, so I'm the lion king. Or I'm the scorpion king. I mastered the scorpion. I mastered the stink. So we got people that's basically taking on this concept of hunting and lording over other people. Because remember, the way of the hunter is what preserves the family. So these people were looked at as heroes. And so Nimrod set up a government by way of what we call the beast system. Now, when we look in the Bible, we know that the beast system consists of buy, selling, and trading, and taking on this mentality that we see at the Tower of Babel to defy God and preserve yourself by way of meat, and also government and defying God. So this is the beast system. So when we look at it, he sets that up, and the whole world is in agreement with that. We can see it in the scriptures. And he defies God, and he said, come, let us come together and build us a city whose top may reach unto heaven, or may be dedicated into the heavens. There is no word that reach there in the Hebrew. It's italicized, so it's not in the original manuscript. So it's really saying something else there. It wasn't that they was building a tower that was super high. It was building a tower basically because it would be dedicated unto the heavens, or to false deities or gods, or zodiac symbols, so to speak. So he does this. He sets up this kingdom. And so when he sets up this kingdom, right after that, the Lord comes and he sees the kingdom, and the Most High says, well, these people, let us go down and confound their language. I mean, I don't want to destroy them again, but whatever they imagine to do, whether if it's wickedness or whatever it is, they will do it. And we see what they imagine to do in Genesis chapter 6. They imagine evil things. Well, this was an evil thing, because you're defying the very creator that brought you into existence, right? And you're defying him and waging war on him, according to what Josephus said about Nimrod in the book of Josephus. And so what I'm saying is this: is the redactor is basically showing us something. And what he's showing us is this: is that the very next chapter, he goes down to chapter 11, he goes down, he confounds their languages. These people retain some of that information even within their own languages, and they begin to build or erect these pyramids or these monuments all over the world to what they probably would have seen at the Tower of Babel.
Right.
And whatever they perceive about God, or about that false religion or that mystery Babylon religion, is what they take off with them, mingled in what they knew beforehand about God as one whole people. Now they have a mixture of good and evil, or so truth and falseness within their doctrine. A little leaven the whole lump, the Bible says. So they have this in their doctrine, and they spread out into the world. Now, God lost them as a whole, because he lost them as a whole, he uses a nation to come out of these people and use them as a power of attorney to represent him on earth and to be a light unto the world. So when he was bringing Abraham out, he was actually thinking about the nations who he was going to choose, who he was going to save and elect up out of those people by the preaching of the gospel. And this is the gospel that was preached unto Abraham, because the gospel was preached unto Abraham, because Paul stated it in Galatians. He said, and Abraham, and the gospel was preached unto Abraham, and it said that the heathen shall be justified by faith. What heathen is he talking about? The same heathen that the redactor of Genesis 11 and 12 is talking about. Well, Genesis 12, because he says that Abraham was called out of Ur of the Chaldeans, and when he was called out of that area, one of the first things that he was told is that God would make him a nation and what God would do with him. But God is really concerned about the seed that's going to come through him, and is really making mention of that thing. Because and so go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I definitely agree with you, but it does kind of confuse me a little, because like I said, I'm in total agreement with you that the Most High gave the word to all men. You know what I'm saying? And then as time went by, man, drifted from that word, and he had to concentrate it once again in the nation of Israel. So like I said, it confused me why, you guys feel we don't have to follow the law, because that's the gospel.
Right. Now, I don't know if you noticed before. Like, we never said, because we follow the law of Christ, the instructions of Christ. Now, I openly stated earlier that there's 4 things that you're missing that's in your covenant, that's in your agreement with God, and that is the vessels that we see of the tabernacle itself, the people, in the book. And let me ask you this: where is your tabernacle or the building right now? Where's the temple at?
Well, Yeshua is the temple, and we are the temple.
Right. See, now see, that's under the New Testament.
Right.
Now when we start talking about the Old Testament, where is
that temple for? It
that
still
temple
perform the same functions that the temple in the Old Testament performed.
Right, but
it's not a building of stone. It's your body.
Right, but see that's a see. Here's the thing. What I'm trying to get you to see. You agreed that there's 2 covenants, right?
No, I agree that is one covenant.
Oh, so there's not 2 covenants.
No, that covenant is gone. When the Most High.
No. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase.
It's torn up.
Okay, yeah. So let me rephrase that. You agreed that there was 2 covenants.
It never was. They never ran concurrent.
Oh, yes, they did run concurrent.
Wow, they never have, man.
All right, so let me ask you this question. The scenario
when Yeshua was on the earth, he was still dealing with the old covenant. And when he went up to the Father and the Holy Spirit came down, that was the new covenant.
It was the new covenant, and this is why they was hand in hand. Because let me show you why. If you notice something, you notice Paul used analogy of Ishmael and also Isaac. So let me ask you this: he used the scenario of Ishmael and Isaac being the 2 covenants. You know that, right?
Right.
Okay,
right.
So let me ask you this:
we as Israel, we are Hagar, and the oil is in this instance is Isaac.
No, yeah, it's Ishmael.
Well, we are Ishmael. Israel is Ishmael.
No, Israel is Isaac.
Right. What, in that analogy?
Well, you know what? Yeah, in that analogy, you're right. Now, let's say this. Okay, so in an analogy, right, he uses Isaac, Hagar, Ishmael, and Sarah, right? Now, did the covenant of Ishmael tarry until the seed came and was confirmed, and then once the seed was confirmed, then the son of the bondwoman was kicked out of the house?
Wait. You're asking when did the covenant for Ishmael come into play?
Right. No. Okay, let me ask it again. Okay. Did Ishmael tarry with the family, with Isaac and Sarah, until the seed was confirmed? Then Ishmael was cast out in the bondwoman. Did that happen?
You're asking when did
I'm
Sarah
asking, did
actually
that happen? Did that event take place? Did that happen?
Sarah sent away Hagar and Ishmael? Yes.
Right. So the
When
seed. So Ishmael was with Ishmael and had the bondwoman and the bond child tarried with the promised child for a while. Right? Would you agree to
right,
that?
right,
Okay.
right.
So once the
Ishmael was
seed,
actually like 13
right. So once that
when
seed, exactly. So once that seed, Isaac, was confirmed, was not the bondwoman and her child cast out?
well, I'm not really sure about when specifically.
I'm just asking, was they cast out? I didn't ask you when was they cast out. Once the seed was once
Right,
Isaac,
yeah,
right. So one,
right.
so the child was mocking Isaac, and once the child was mocking Isaac, Sarah said, "Hey, look, you're gonna have to kick this woman and her child out, because this woman shall not inherit or be inherit what Isaac, what he was going to inherit." And Abraham was mad. And Abraham was mad about the thing, and God came to him and told him, "Hey, look, Sarah is correct, right? And Isaac should thy seed be called." Now, reason why I'm bringing this up is this, so because I want you to see this. Now, Isaac was confirmed, right? And we see that the Old Testament or the New Testament is looked at in this analogy as one of them being Isaac and one of them being Hagar from the bondwoman, which is the mother of Ishmael, right? Or Hagar. Now, if you notice something, when you look at the New Testament and the Old Testament tarried for a while, but was waxing away and ready to decay. When did it decay? Most people, you got the guerrilla Hebrew in them, they read that and don't even know what they talking about. They don't understand it. Well, Paul, I wouldn't say Paul, but the author of Hebrews would have experienced the temple back in their day. So as long as the temple standing,
Right.
it's been dedicated with blood, then partially the covenant, the penalties or the covenant is still in force. Hence, this is why Paul and them and all of them is still continuing in some of the things of the law. But once the temple, which is dedicated by blood, is destroyed, which is that heaven and earth that is passed, that idiom that we see being used, that's Israel, heaven and earth that has actually passed. Josephus mentions that a lot too. So what am I saying? I'm saying this is that it's clear that the law tarried, right, until that temple was rent, until that temple was torn away, because that temple was dedicated just as well. Once that took place, those people that are in Christ or before Christ was in Christ. So they're not affected by the curses that we see. It's in Deuteronomy 28. They're not affected by that. they're going to go through some trials and temptations because the world hate them, or persecutions because they're going to suffer because the master suffers. So you're going to go through some stuff because the world hates you. And they're even going to suffer by the hand of the Jews who were just out of the contract, or out of the plucked up from out of their own olive tree, basically. So broken off, so to speak. So what I'm saying is this is it there is a tarrying of the Old Testament until the very temple wax away. The very temple, once that temple decay and wax away, that was up under the blood, there is no more of that. That's gone. So you're up under the penalties of that covenant now. You're up under the curse. If you don't come in Christ, you fall up under Deuteronomy 28, the curses of that. If you don't come in Christ. So what I'm saying is this is that we follow the instructions of Christ. We know that there is 2 covenants, and one of the covenants is broken, and you up under the penalties of that covenant. If you're not in Christ at all, and you say that you're doing that covenant, that's impossible. You don't have the tabernacle, which was dedicated by blood, nor the vessels, or you don't follow the book.
Right. And like they say, bro, it tells us like we do have the temple. Like you can't just say that the temple is not there. Like a lot of Christians, this for lack of a better word, they like to say like I said earlier, foreshadow. Christ was, all of these things was foreshadowing Christ. But do you think you're going to see a shadow of a building in the true image? Is a helicopter? No, it's going to be a building. It's going to be the same thing, but it's in two different realms. The shadow is not visible, but the building is visible. So Yahshua, he's here with us now. So like he does with Corinthians, we all can tell. And that's how.
Right, but see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Up under. See, this is what you got to understand. In Christ, in the New Testament, you're in Christ. If you're in the New Testament, right?
Okay, what's being in Christ?
Being in Christ is being.
Let's see. Hebrews 10. And it's going to tell us what's being in Christ. Let's see if I can pull this up real quick. Hebrews 10 and 8. Now we're trying to see how can we abide and we can be in Christ.
Right, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to tell us that we don't keep the law or the instructions of Christ, and we have law and instructions of Christ that we definitely keep.
I asked for real life, and he never got back to me. What is the law of Christ?
What was Christ teaching?
The command, because he said whoever teach the least of these will be the least in the kingdom. All right. So that's what
hold on. Well, see, and that's the thing. That's the thing where we have the problem with right there, because when he says the least of these, he's basically talking about down below when he says it has been said, but I say, because when we look at Matthew chapter 5, they told him, they said, speak not unto us. When you look at Deuteronomy or Exodus, they said, speak not unto us in that voice, but speaking to Moses, and we'll hear him. And Moses was like, yeah, well, the father said, I'm sorry, Matthew chapter 5. Now remember, the Christ come to them in Matthew chapter 5. He come to them, he's teaching them in the mount. But he's teaching them in the mount, and he's the prophet that they was waiting on, a prophet like unto Moses. And so reason why the Lord said that he will raise up a prophet like unto Moses, him shall ye hear, is because remember, if you look at it, it says that he was speaking unto them, and they said, speak not unto us in this voice. And he says, well said, the children of Israel. He said, the Lord will raise up a prophet like unto your brother, or like unto Moses. They was looking for this prophet. They would say, art thou the prophet to come? Even the lady of Samaria was looking for this prophet. And so when Christ came, he comes in this mount and he's teaching them. And whatever he's instructing them within that mount is the things that's going to go into play, are the terms of the conditions of the New Testament. And to initiate that covenant, his blood will be shed. So he's fulfilling one while establishing the other one. And so what he does is he brings them out of one by the shedding the blood, because they was in the penalty, while it's establishing another one. So we can even take this back to the day of Pesach, and also when it carried over to from the 14th to the 15th, and then we start also dealing with the Feast of Unleavened Bread, how it's split like that, because he's bringing you from out of one and carrying you over into the next one, right? So the shedding of the blood is very important. So what am I saying here? I'm saying this is that what he taught on that mount was the terms and the conditions of the new contract, but he's dealing with that contract on a heartly manner, because remember, he says it's not, he tells them, he says it's not this was what man eat that defiles him, but what comes out of him. Why? Because he's talking about a heartly manner. So most people will say, well, he's talking about washing of hands. No, he just broke down the whole, he started talking about food. And so we didn't start talking about food. He's talking about it. He said, whatever goes in you does not defile you.
Well, the reason why they brought that up, because they were eating on the Sabbath.
Right, but what I'm trying to show you is this: is he's talking about, he brings up the subject matter about food. He took it farther than washing hands. So what he's telling them is this: is those things that you partook of, far as the holy things, mean something more than just these dietary laws, is what you're trying to call them. They're dealing with partaking of holy things, things that are foreshadowed basically as somewhat of the of things that this in more pure than other things, or things that's dealing with pureness, and animals that are not wild beasts, basically, so to speak, that are not consuming other beasts, living like the Gentiles, which the Gentiles was consuming each other, or consume anything just to survive. So they was considered beasts, all manner of beasts. So they was eating of things that did not do those things, things that did not live the way of decent order on how they were supposed to live in decent order, partaking of either herbs or whatever the case may be, or not living off each other. And so this is the foreshadow of things that we see that these laws are looking at. They are foreshadowing something. So Christ, he brings up, he says, so Christ says, it's what come out of the man that defiles him, out of the heart. So when we look at Matthew chapter 5, he's basically talking about things that that deals with the heart of the matter, where lust come from. If I'm looking on this woman and she looking good or whatever the case may be, and I got a whole wife at the crib, or if I'm trying to remain celibate and I'm looking on her in the, she naked already. She may have on she may be dressed up like a Sunni from Islam, and she got all these sheets over her. She may be dressed up like she down on Harlem like Tazariak now. But
Right.
but I didn't got naked with her, and I'm already in the bed with her because I got X-ray vision now. I didn't seen all the way the curves through the black sheets and whatever she got on. That
Right.
right there is how a person really get off into the way of lust. And lust brings forth sin. That type of lust brings forth sin because if you're looking at it, trust and believe, you didn't already got naked with it. You didn't lay down with it in the heart already, so therefore you have defiled yourself. So he's dealing with the very essence of that, or the nature of lust. Now, in the law, these things are dealt with, but it's not so much as on a level of now what we look at up under the New Testament. So all I'm saying is this is he's teaching them things, and when you say the least of these things, he's saying the least of the things that he's teaching, or did he or
Commandment.
it has been said, but I say that's what he's talking about.
Okay. Well, I just want to say this real quick. When you were speaking about Yeshua was saying it's not what goes into a man, and you were saying how he brought food up, and it was nothing to do with food. But it's real important that you realize that it had everything to do with food. Because, like I said, that's why they came to him, because his disciples did not wash their hands when they was eating. Now, what I try to get my Christian family to realize is that what Yeshua is fighting in the so-called New Testament, or the New Testament, he's fighting the Pharisees, he's fighting the Sadducees, but he's really fighting what we know as the Talmud. Because when he tells them, he says, you know, the Pharisees ask him, they say, why do the disciples transgress the tradition of the elders, but they wash not their hands when they eat bread? See, that's a Talmudic tradition, just like many of the other ones. Uh, like I ascribe to what they call the Shlom the Shom Tov. I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong, but it's the Hebrew version of Matthew.
Well, I
And
wouldn't say that's. I wouldn't say that's more so. That's not really. That's somewhat not really. That is tradition, but there is tradition that is passed down from the Torah itself upon washing your hands and not eating with unclean hands. Because especially when you're dealing with vessels and pots, and how Paul says, you handle not, you touch not. This is what he's talking about. Because when you look at the law, there were certain things you just could not do, and
right,
and so this is not just concerning just Talmudic traditions,
oh,
but
very
actually,
much so. I mean, there's a certain way that you have to put on your shoes according to Talmudic tradition. If you don't do it according to how the rabbi says, you're sinning as if you're breaking a commandment out of Deuteronomy or Leviticus. So it was very much in play. And the reason why I brought up the Hebrew Matthew, because in the Hebrew Matthew, it's Yeshua telling the Pharisees, because the Pharisees, it was a tradition that they used to do. Was in Exodus, the Most High says, "There is no name but my name that you shall swear by." But when we come to Matthew, we see this part where Yeshua is saying, "Do not swear by the name of the Most High." But in the Hebrew Matthew, you get clarification, and you also get another example of Pharisees trying to infuse the Talmud into written law. Because what they would do was, the Most High says, "Do not swear falsely by my name. Do not swear falsely by the temple." So what the Jews of the first century would do, and before that, because the Talmud was in production centuries before Yeshua was born, they would falsely swear by things that was not and they wouldn't swear falsely by the name of the Most High, but they would swear falsely by other things, basically lying. So in Matthew, when Yeshua is telling them, do not swear, he's telling them, do not swear falsely on anything, because you cannot change the gray of your head. You don't have that power. So basically, that was an attack on the Talmud. So what the Christian brothers got to do is they got to realize that when Yeshua is telling them things like, it's good to do good on the Sabbath. When certain people, when they read that, in contrast to the Pharisees, you would think that Yeshua is saying break the Shabbat. But no, he's saying do good on the Shabbat. Because the only thing that the Most High tells us, basically, no work. You know what I'm saying? It's a time that you rest. So I mean, bro, and the verse I was looking for, because you earlier said, you want Christ to dwell with you, and Christ, will dwell with you if once you are saved. But it wasn't Hebrews. It was I think it was First John, and what he said in First John. I'm gonna go to it real fast. Because you definitely are right if you want the Most High to abide with you, but it's the Most High, he does not dwell around wickedness. So
Let me
this
show
is
you
going to be
something
John.
when
It's
you
going to be
read that.
John 15:10. In John 15:10, he says, "If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love." So if you want to abide with the Most High, he's telling you right there. And it's like what I was telling Faithful. Okay, we have Yeshua who says, "If you love me, keep my commandments." So we take those words right there, and that's the root of everything that we have. But it seems like Christians, they take Paul's words and put them above Yeshua's, whereas you got to take Yeshua's word, and whatever Paul's saying, you got to face it with scripture to where it got to match up to what Yeshua is saying. So when I'm reading Acts and I'm reading the disciples having the meeting, it's because not that they don't want them to not keep the law, but you got to look at everything in context. This is to say the least, a real chaotic time. I mean, Yeshua started off with 12 disciples, and those 12 disciples were responsible for teaching the whole world, and he just died. So you have a lot of what people would call Judaizers trying to tell Christians, hey, look, if you want to be a Jew like Jesus was, you got to keep the law like this, like that, like that. That's why Paul wrote that letter and told them, hey, if you want to do that like them, it's gonna profit you nothing. And you gotta say that's what that means, because Yeshua, which is the root, which is the pinnacle, he said, "You love me, you keep my commandments." So whatever Paul is teaching, which is which I'm validated by, because even Peter says, if you don't know what you're doing, Paul will have you eating pulled pork and you know willfully disregarding the Shabbat.
Right, right.
So
But
you
here's the
gotta you
thing.
gotta pay you gotta pay attention. So you gotta keep Yeshua at that pinnacle. Yeshua
Right, but
says, "You love me,
right, you
keep my
keep that when
commandments."
you
So
say
you gotta
right,
make what Paul say match up, not the other
right. But
way
hold on.
around.
Here's the thing, so you can understand this. You agreed earlier that we see that there was two covenants, but one of them is not enforced no more. Right.
Right, one is done away with, and the new covenant is in effect. But the new
Okay.
covenant
So
is
hold on. When he
established.
said so when he says keep my commandments, and we already established what Torah is, its instructions, what law is, its instructions and its teachings. Christ, would you agree that Christ had some teachings that he taught?
Right, definitely.
Okay. So when we read Matthew chapter 5, it's some of those teachings that he taught in there when he says, it has been said, but I say.
Right.
So you say that he's talking about Talmudic teachings, but we can actually look at some of the things that he says that it has been said in the law.
Right.
So how's that Talmudic teachings?
Well, as far as the things that they added on to that, because let's see another instance where, if I can find one. But as far as with the hand washing, I mean, what else would you think they're talking about?
Because I already done told you. Like it. Listen, he did listen. Christ brought up, the Messiah brought up eating food and meats.
Right.
The Christians didn't bring that up. He brought that up. So he says that whatever goes into the mouth concerning food, where it comes at, where it goes out.
You said the Christians brought that up?
No, I said Christians didn't bring that up. Christ brought that up.
Right.
He brought up
what
food.
Goes in your mouth. Right.
Right. He brought up food. So they'll say, well, he was only talking about hand washing. No, he got to talk about the breaking down in the digestive system and talking about meats. That's what he was talking.
Why do they want them to wash their hands though? Because they say they're defiling their food. And once the food is defiled, when it goes in your body, you're defiled. So that's very much why Yeshua said that he kept it in context with the scribes and the Pharisees, which they would complain.
Right, but are you hearing what he's telling you though? Listen, bro, so you can understand this.
Right. He's telling them it's not what
what's
goes
defiled in man. Listen, what's defiled in man is their spirit. Right. Do you understand that?
Brother, the man says not that which goes out the mouth defiles a man, but that which
he says not that which goes. Listen, he says not that which goes in the mouth.
Right. Right.
So listen,
but what comes out?
Let me get this clear to you so you can hear this closely. In Matthew 5, Christ is dealing with things for as lust of the heart, where your eyes should be looking at. These things are concerning the heart. Would you agree to that?
Right. I mean, I'm definitely going to disagree with you. I mean, so definitely had good teachings.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me follow up with that. Now, when he's talking about food, he tells you, listen, bro, it's not what you're eating or putting in your body that defile you, but what's defiling you is what's in you. Is he talking about the heart of man? What is he talking about?
He's talking about is what comes out, right? He's talking about your spirit in that instance.
Right. So what I'm saying is it's clear that Christ is dealing with things of matters of the heart.
But there's still unclean animals in the world.
Right. And listen,
that does not
listen, what I'm trying to show you is so you can understand this. In Genesis chapter 9 and 3, he told them that you can eat anything of this food list that he gave them, according to food that was on the earth, not no humans or none of that, but anything. And at that point in time, and so when we look at it, also he tells them when he gets to Israel, right? So
in Genesis 9:3, when he's telling him all the things that are good to eat, they already know in their mind that what's clean and what's not clean.
No, they don't know. They never ate meat.
And at the very least, if the Most High even told them they can eat anything, I guarantee Noah and all of his righteous sons was not eating unclean foods because they knew what was unclean. I mean,
okay, so let me ask you a question.
I mean, you said it earlier, didn't you? Just say that the Most High gave.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You got it. All right.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Why would they know clean and unclean before the flood if they wasn't eating meat? Why would they know them? Why would they know it? Give me a reason why.
The Most High gave them that instruction. It was told to them. I mean, Enoch talked with the Most High numerous times.
But why though? You have to know this. You can't say that you are Israelite and you don't know this, why would he tell them clean and unclean before the flood? They wasn't eating animals.
Why would he tell them clean and unclean before the flood?
Yes.
Who says they weren't eating meat before the flood? I mean,
they wasn't instructed to eat meat.
I mean, but it was there for them to eat.
Listen,
I mean, they sacrificed. Cain and Abel made sacrifices.
Okay, okay, right. So you just said one thing. That's a key. That's a hint there. Now, can you sacrifice a deer on the altar?
Can I sacrifice a deer, or
not you? Just anybody
can sacrifice.
Can a Levite
any clean? Well, a Levite cannot.
Hold on, hold fast. Wait, brother, hold fast before you answer. Just think about what I'm saying, because you can't be going around here talking about keep the law and you don't know the law. I'm gonna ask you this again clearly. I'm gonna ask you this clearly. Can you sacrifice a deer on the altar as far as being a Levite?
A Levite, no, you cannot.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Is a deer clean to eat?
Yes, it is.
So before the flood, and just key in, listen to this. Before the flood, they were sacrificing. You just said it, right?
Cain and Abel, correct.
So let me ask you a question. What was clean to sacrifice on the altar before the flood?
Everything that the Most High said was clean in Leviticus, that right there we can start with. But what we do know what they did not sacrifice on the altar was any unclean thing.
So let me ask you a question. Would a deer be unclean to sacrifice on the altar?
In the temple? Yes.
All right. So listen.
Definitely.
This is the reason why they knew about clean and unclean, because it was dealing with sacrificial purposes before the flood. They was not eating meat. If they could eat meat after the flood, Israel is later on told.
You spent the last 5 minutes trying to build, it kind of supports my position, because if you have, say for instance, we have the law of the unclean animals. It's 7 animals. Just say for instance, it's 7 animals that are clean in that law. But within those 7 animals, it's only 4 animals that you can sacrifice. So you had this law from the time of before the flood. So why would he give us a list of clean animals if all of them was to be sacrificed, but 2, 3 in the list cannot be sacrificed? So that tells you right there, it was more than just sacrifice. It was for the consumption as well.
Hold on. You said, say that again. I didn't hear you. Say that one more time.
Okay, the law of the unclean beast. Let's just say it's 7 animals that are clean in that list. What tells me that they were eating meat before the flood is because those 7 animals on that clean list, you can only, let's just say for instance, we can only sacrifice 4 of them. We know for a fact we can't sacrifice all of them. But let's just say we can only sacrifice 4. So that leaves 3 clean animals. I mean, why were they designated clean? It's because we can eat them. You see what I'm saying? So what you were speaking of only, bolsters my position and proves the point that I think was the case. That
hold on. The first thing that Noah did when he got off the ark, what did he do?
When he got off the ark, the first thing he did, like the very first thing, he gave a sacrifice to the Most High.
So what you think he sacrificed?
It wasn't nothing unclean.
You think he sacrificed? Sacrificed a deer? A deer is clean to eat.
It doesn't say it was a deer.
But I'm just asking. Well, I'm just asking. Do you actually think he would sacrifice a deer though?
No, but is a deer on the clean animal list?
Right. A deer is on the clean animal list.
Right. So what is he doing on? So why would he even be put in a clean animal list
But it's
if
on the
he's
clean
not
animal
used for
list.
sacrifices?
It's on the clean animal list according to the law of Moses, what they can consume and eat.
The law of
Before it's
Moses is the law of the Most High.
before it's the sacrifices, it's not there.
Wait, but I'm trying to see, because that totally like just destroyed your point, like, because you was trying to say that it wasn't no such thing as you basically was saying you can eat anything before the flood, but we
No,
gotta
not
find
before
that
the
shit out.
flood, not before. No, after the flood, not before the flood. After the flood.
Oh
In
well,
other words,
it's this.
when you say clean, listen, when you say clean and unclean, clean and unclean, it's talking about things this concerning the altar. What can be offered on the altar?
Well, no, because a deer is clean, venison is clean. That's
But
not offered on the altar.
hold on, is a deer clean to be offered on the altar though? I mean,
Well, see, that's
can you
that's
offer
that's
a
not
deer
that's
on the altar though?
there's clean and there's unclean. Is a deer clean?
A deer is clean concerning to consume or
Okay.
eat.
Why is clean then? It can be sacrificed on the
Concern,
altar. So
concerning
why
to
would he must be put in that list?
concerning to consume or eat, a deer is clean.
Okay.
But is it
Okay.
clean
So
to
if
sacrifice
the
on the
only
altar?
reason he's put okay, so if the only reason he's put in that list is to be consumed, why do we have an unclean list? Why he just don't
You
go in
talking
the
about in the
unclean list?
dietary
If
law?
deer, right, right. Why don't the deer go in the unclean list if you say we can eat anything and you just said that
Because when you deal with
the
the
deer was
dietary,
put in that list for consumption?
all right, let's look at
But
something real
according
quick.
to you, everything,
Let's show you.
everything for consumption, right?
Okay, let's look at something real quick. Let's go to it. Let's go to it and see what it says. Hold on. Let's go to it. Where is it?
Because I really believe, bro, Christians, bro, y'all should just have a 365 day where y'all just really look at Paul and see what he's saying, man. Y'all got to figure it out, bro. Y'all got to
All right,
figure it
so
out,
look.
man.
All right, so look. All right, let's go to it. It says, every moving thing that liveth. Hold on. Let's jump back a little bit. Let's go back. It says, and the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteousness before me in this generation. It says, of every clean. Now look at the word right there. Tahor. Right?
Right.
Tahor. It says, pure and a physical, chemical, ceremonial, or moral sense, clean, fair, pure, right? Tahor, right? Now remember that. Of every clean beast, thou should take to thee by sevens the male and his female. And of every beast that are not clean, by two, the male and his female, right? So same word, tahor, right? So tahor. So in other words, every clean beast and every beast that are not clean, right?
Right.
It says that are not clean by two, the male and his female. Of flowers also of the air by sevens, and the male and the female to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth, right? So watch what it says. For yet 7 days, okay, let's jump over now. Let's jump over to, hold on for a minute. Let's jump over to, remember that word tahor.
Right.
It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speaking to the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth, right? Whatsoever part of the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat, right? Nevertheless, these shall not eat of them that cheweth the cud, or of them that divide the huff, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the huff. He is unclean unto you. Now remember, it says not clean and clean. So one of them is tahor. This is tameh, right? Two different words. Now, foul in a religious sense, defiled, infamous, or polluted, unclean, right? So that's what he says as far as dealing with concerning the unclean, right? The unclean. It's tameh. Now, he says, nevertheless, these shall you not eat of them. So he's telling you, far as your consumption, what you are to consume, right? And what's not to be consumed. Now remember, this ain't including the stranger, because the stranger can eat some of it ain't including the stranger, because the stranger can eat something that dieth of itself, whereas Israel can't. So that means that it's really meaning something here. This is a foreshadow of
Because
something to come.
they're outside of the covenant.
Well, I wouldn't say
If
that
you
they're
think the
outside of.
Most High divorced Israel, imagine what they did to the heathen nations. And you kind of touched on it. I don't know how much your understanding into it goes, but at the Tower of Babel, the Most High basically divorced all of the nations right there. So he did not, from that point on, he did not care what other nations did. Now, if a person from that other nation clung to Israel, then they can be saved. But other nations, he could care less. And in a way, that's why the Jews prosper, because they have those instructions. It's like how I kind of tell like these brothers that be on Egyptology and Kemet and all that. When they talk about the Bible, the white man had the Bible, this and that. In so many aspects, the Bible is kind of like what I would call off like the Lord of the Rings, like the ring. Whoever have it, if a good person have it, it's gonna be used good. But if a bad person have the ring, it's gonna be bad. So, you know, those Jews, they were able to take it and they continued, like they were on the forefront of knowledge to the Europeans. And it was all because of the Bible. I mean, to this day, you have things that people say in Europe, like long live the, like when the king died, they say the king is dead, long live the king. They got that from out the Bible. So, the Goyim, the other nations, the Most High, once he divorced them, he could care less about them. So, the law is strictly there
Well,
for
I
us
have
to
to
get
disagree
close to
with
the
you
Most
about
High.
that, because even
As
when we
far as
say
what?
hold on, when you said that he told them that they can eat of something, the stranger that's in their gates is among them, you said that they were not in the covenant, but they were circumcised though. So how they're not in the covenant when they shed blood in their foreskin, which makes them in the covenant?
So you're saying why would he circumcise himself?
What you say? You say why would he what?
Why is he circumcised?
Why is who? You said no. I'm
The
saying
stranger.
the Gentile is the stranger that's in their gates is circumcised because of the law, because they're in the covenant.
Right. So he's no longer a stranger.
He is I mean, he's a stranger, but he's among Israel.
So
And
now you have like
well, you
an
know what?
aspect that's saying the stranger is a
There is a there is a division that's there. Even though he's in
right.
Israel, he's in a covenant, there is still a divider or a division that's there up under the Old Testament. This is why when you look at it, when
Right.
the Levite was in service, a stranger that was in Israel, he could not come close to that Levite.
Right. And your position is that stranger.
is a
Uh,
converted Israelite, but he's still a stranger.
he's still a stranger. He is some. He
I
doesn't
I
have.
would have to look at
He
that.
does. He doesn't have full privileges up under the Old Testament.
No,
As he
there will
do
be
in the
only
New
one
Testament.
law, and like I said, since you making this assertion and you jumping head first out here like that, I would have to check that out and see. But there is only one law for you and a stranger, so and
And
that
right,
is within that law, so
that
you
law,
could still be. But I would have to
and,
look into that. I'm not familiar with that.
right, and in that law, a stranger could not even be anointed with oil. Did you know that?
Right. As
But
far as what being a priest.
but he can eat the Passover. He can eat the Passover, but he has to be circumcised.
Right. Right. He does have to be circumcised if he
And
wants to
right,
partake.
so there is some privileges that he have, but there is some disadvantages that he have,
So
even though he's still in the covenant
so you
up
can
under the
have a
Old Testament.
stranger who wants to partake in Passover and he doesn't want to be, I guess, an Israelite, but he wants to partake. So he will circumcise himself. And once the Pashak is over, I guess he's going back to being a stranger. So therefore, he is given that dead meat. So I could definitely see that happening in that situation.
Nah, that's just
But
listen.
right,
It means something. In other words, the whole
right,
eating, just eating is much more than just eating it. I'm eating this pork, or I'm eating this, I'm gonna get sick, or it's way much more than that. It's much more. It means something, and we kind of see what it means in Acts chapter 10. It's something there just besides uh don't eat that pork, or don't eat that unclean. It's something. It's meaning something. They partaking of something, some type of ritual, but it's some type of holy ritual concerning holy things, concerning things that will be pure and holy.
yeah,
Far as not things that don't devour each other.
yeah. Nah, I would have to ask you to look at that again and look at that because I don't think it's like I said. Once you circumcise, you can't uncircumcise yourself. So that definitely would give that would be a scenario for where a stranger would be given dead meat because he's not an Israelite, but he wanted to partake in a Passover. So, you know, that's as of right now, that's the only way I could see, that being applied to a person who is circumcised. He's definitely not an Israelite. He probably just a servant and he just wanted to partake in Passover and got circumcised. So, but
But
as far as
but okay, so he is considered to be among Israelite. It's just like, okay, you in my household, right? Okay, let's say you in my household, and I accept you in. There is some privileges that you might have, but even in my household, there are some privileges that you might not have. And so, even in my household with my own kids, there's privileges that they might have, there's privileges that they might not have. So it's the same way with a stranger. Uh, he has some privileges, but he doesn't have very much the same privileges that my very own kids would have in my household up under the
yeah,
Old Testament. So that's what I'm saying. So there's some things that's there to where we can see there is in the Old Testament they wasn't allowed certain things. Now we start looking at the New Testament and we see that something take place to where Peter says he baptized them as he baptized us, making no division or no difference between us and them, but baptizing them into the body, which is Christ. Which the eye cannot say they don't have need of the leg or the other eye or the hand. Everybody got their part that they need to play, basically. So let's. I want to look at 3 to just to bring it back here and show something, because I want to show you that. Watch what it says. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you should be upon every beast of the earth. Notice he said every beast of the earth. I don't see how someone will read this and just say, this is just concerning the clean beast of the earth.
Nah,
But
that's fear. That's
right.
concerning the spirit.
But watch what the fear is for. And then when you look at the usage of how he's using it, when we take it and go somewhere else, then you'll see what I'm talking about. It says, and upon every fowl of the earth. Now, when we reading this, we seeing the fear upon every beast, the fear upon every fowl of the earth, and upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Watch what he says. Into your hands are they delivered. Now, what is he talking about? Why would he say into your hands? I challenge you to go use that. You look up this usage. Into your hands are they delivered, and you're going to see what this actually means, what he's talking about.
Right.
Every time
Well,
this is used right here, it's concerning one that has dominion or the power or the authority to devour or get apprehend apprehend something and this is what this is talking about. Every time it's used as that.
So according to you, every animal that we subdue, we're eating. Nah, that wouldn't be the case. Think about it, because I mean, you have animals, beasts of burden. You have animals that aid people, that help you. So that's why they was put into our submission. Now,
Right,
when
but
he
hold on,
says,
hold on. Like I said, listen, watch what he says though. Let's go down before you even start going there, because it says, every moving thing that liveth should be meat for you. So why is it that when you got every moving thing or everything that's up here, but then we get down here, every moving thing that liveth you, right? Every moving thing that liveth, and this is when we're talking. Now watch what he says. Even as the green herb have I given you all things. Watch what he says. But flesh with the life thereof. So now we're talking about flesh with the light thereof, which is of the blood thereof shall ye not eat. Now, they will say something stupid like, well, can you eat another human? Well, hold on. He just told you up in this list what he's putting the fear in that you can actually devour.
but no, you can't understand the question that person asked you, because I guess he's coming at you from a Christian, the law is done away with perspective. According to that perspective, which only gives you guys the New Testament as law, where does it say in that section you cannot eat meat?
Well,
Eat human flesh? Because it doesn't.
Well, hold on. You just contradicted yourself because, and this is why I say about the inconsistencies.
Right.
Because you just said earlier, you can go back.
Right.
You said that the Lord. What was that? I heard something beep. Was that you?
Not on my end.
Okay, you said that the Lord. You said that the Lord gave the nations to eat what they want to eat because He wasn't really dealing with them like that. Now,
right,
when we come to this picture right here, it's a different story. Why is it a different story right here?
When did I? When? No, okay. Now check this out. This is very specific time frames. When I said the Most High was done with the nations, that was at the Tower of Babel. This is before the Tower of Babel. Correct?
Right. This is before the Tower of Babel.
Okay. All right. So you still saying I'm contradicting myself?
So basically, so let's relate this and bring this into the Tower of Babel though, and show you something, because you before the flood, they was not commanded to eat meat, right or wrong.
Before the flood, which is when before, which is with Noah. They were eating clean meat.
Oh, they was eating clean meat before the flood.
Right, right.
Can you show me that in the Bible?
Can you show me where they were not?
Because I asked you, was they commanded to eat meat, flesh?
Right. What I said was
Hold on. So that's what I'm asking. Am I?
after Adam's time, he had the law of what's clean and what's unclean. From the time of Adam's sin, he ate clean meat because we was talking about Cain and Abel with the sacrifices. Up until Noah's time, Noah ate clean meat. Up until after Noah's time, he was instructed to eat clean meat, or he had the law of clean meat. Because truthfully, really, when you look at Genesis 9:3, when he says every moving thing that lives unto you should be food, the word is remes, and it's pretty much creeping thing. It's not, you know, that's not the word for beast. So, like I said, when you have Yeshua, which is the giver, which is the writer of the law of Moses, he is the walking law of Moses. You always got to keep what he says at the very top, and you have to match things up to what he's saying. So when I'm looking at Genesis 9:3, I'm looking at that word remes, and I'm saying, okay, that right there is letting me know he must have had some type of understanding, which it also says in the interlinear that remes is different from beast. So if it would have said every beast that moves, then you still might have a
Let's
better
look at that.
chance of
Let's look at that since you saying that. Hold on.
right.
Let's look at what you
That's
saying.
Genesis 9:3, right?
Hold on. Right. Let's look at that.
Yeah, let's see.
We're gonna have to break this out on it. Okay. Remes.
Right.
It
And if
says.
you look, if I'm not
Hold on.
mistaken,
Hold
is
on.
not
Let's read. Hold on. Let's read it.
okay.
It
All right.
says a reptile or any other rapidly moving animal that creeping moving things, right? And it's from the root of ramas, right? Swiftly crawl, move, analogy to swarm, creep, move, right? Now,
So when you see Ramas and you see it next to the word beast, you know it don't mean beast specifically. And when you go to it, it says it has 8 occurrences. So we have 8 sentences to get the context of the meaning of this. And every time I'm looking at it from where I'm seeing it, it's basically creeping things that's moving, cattle, then you have remes, then you have wing. So it's just an animal, a certain animal. So like I said, when you have a pinnacle, when you have a root, which is Yeshua and the words that he spoke, you're able to match that up and see how you can keep the consistency with it always being a law of clean food. So that's how, and like
all right, so
you
this,
get go ahead.
all right, so look, all right, it says, and God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, right?
Right,
That word right there is the root of remes, is
right,
ramas, right? Let's look at it. To swarm, creep, move, crawl, right? Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to read this to you. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, right? That word is ramas, right?
right,
Which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged flower after his kind. And God saw that it was good, right?
right,
Now, this word that we see is the root of remes, or whatever the case may be, that we see, right? It says, and God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping things, right? And the beast of the earth after his kind, right? That
right,
word is remes, right?
right,
Now, what I'm asking you is this. when we look at this remez and we relate this back to Genesis chapter 9 and chapter 3. Hold on, Genesis 9. It says, every moving thing that liveth should be meat for you. Right? Let's
Right.
look at that word right there.
Hi.
That word is from kaya, alive, hence raw flesh, fresh, plant water, right? So every living thing, right, that we see, far as fleshly, should be meat for you. Even the green herb have I given you all things, it says. But the flesh, we see, right, with
Right.
the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. So what is this saying right here?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. I would say you don't eat flesh with blood in it. You always
Right. So
remember
is
the
that
blood.
consisting of that ramesh that's up there, right here? Is that consistent of this ramesh that's there?
And that would be verse 4. You saying right?
Right. Is that consistent of, is verse 4 consisting of that ramesh that's up there?
No, it's totally different.
Oh, so how is it totally different? Okay, well, so you said, so let's look at this.
You're meaning the word flesh in verse
No, hold on,
4.
hold on.
Is it?
I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Every moving thing that liveth should be meat for you. Even as the green herb have I given you all things. So it says, verse 4, watch what it says.
Right.
That remains, right? It says, but flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. So the remains, you definitely saying that they could eat, right?
Right.
And what is the remains?
Hermetic is basically just an adjective describing an animal, like you just read, moving swiftly. But in Genesis 9:4,
Okay, what is the
remains is
remains? Because
nowhere in
you stated that the remains was what type, what was it? What is it?
it's basically just a description of animal.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you
What
have
type? What
animal,
type
you
of
have
animal
beast.
though? I know it's a description, but you said earlier it was a description of what type of animal.
Basically, like according to the 8 times that it occurs in scripture, is basically always having to do with something creeping or crawling. So
Right. And so creeping and crawling. So let me. So does it have something to do with beasts too?
what? Well, or any other rapidly moving animal. That goes to my point. So when you're reading that, Noah already knows in his mind any clean moving, rapidly moving animal. Is like he already knows that. So when he hears the word remes, he knows that does not mean every beast.
All right. Well, let me ask you this question. You said rapidly moving animal, right?
Right, right.
Show me any. Show me. Look, so you can understand this. It says, but flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, ye shall not eat. Watch what he says. And surely your blood of your lives will I require it. At the hand of every beast will I require it. What is
So
he
he
talking about when
required
he says every beast?
every. So you're asking what's the Hebrew
I'm
word
asking,
beast mean?
what is he when he says every beast? Is he basically conforming that to, or is he singling that out, or to just the clean beast, or what is he talking about?
No, that's every beast. That's every beast.
So it says, but the flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat, right? You shouldn't eat it.
Right,
He
right.
says, and surely your blood or your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require, and at the hand of man. At the hand of
Okay.
every man's brother will I require. Now, why is it that when he's talking about the beast, right? He's basically saying that you should. When he's talking about this beast, he said every beast that we see here, that you should not partake of the blood of those
No,
beasts.
because if that was the case, then you can eat the hand of man without his blood,
Now hold
and
on, bro.
every man's
Wait,
brother.
wait, wait,
No,
wait,
it's
wait, wait,
it's a
wait, wait,
it's a
wait, wait, wait.
distinct separation
Wait, hold on, wait,
when you
wait,
see that.
wait, wait. You just did
Right,
the exact thing. What I said, that's what
right,
they do. You just did it. Listen, the
right.
scripture just said every beast. Is man a beast?
No, but you're saying
Right. So let me
you're
ask you a
using.
question. How are you? How are you saying? Well, just in that case, just in that case, man can eat the blood of the hand of the man. No, I'm not talking. I'm saying, listen. It says,
Because, man, the
listen.
way you're breaking it down, that's how you're reading it.
Okay, well you read it.
Everybody say that to you because you're reading it that way. The way you
I'm
should
reading. I'm
read it
reading it
is,
straight. It says,
but
but flesh. I'm reading it straight out. It says, but
right,
flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat.
okay,
Right.
that's a period at the end of that. That's a period. So you stop, and
And
it's
it
about to
says,
be a new
and
thought.
surely your blood or of your lives will I require. In other words, if you eat
All
the
right, now stop.
flesh,
Okay, stop. You see that semicolon? You see the semicolon, right? So that's
right?
another pause. So he's now this is the blood of everything you eat. You see what I'm saying? And surely your blood of your lives will I require if you eat, which is the blood thereof. It's the semicolon. So he's gonna is basically him saying, furthermore, at the hand of every beast will I require it. And we know that to be true because he brings it even further and says, at the hand of man and at the hand of every man's brother. So that's why a lot of people will say that to you because the way you're reading it
Wait,
like
wait,
you shouldn't
no,
be reading
listen,
it like
bro,
that.
listen. If you eat blood if you eat a beast with blood in it, what's gonna happen to you, bro?
I
What? Do you,
mean,
what?
the life is in the blood. You're breaking the law of the Most High. You should not do it.
Right. So he says, but the flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. Now let's look at the consequences behind that. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of
Right,
every beast will I require it. So in other words,
right.
whatever beast that you kill with the blood in it, you gonna have to. Your blood is gonna be required.
You disrespecting that semicolon, bro. You gotta. It's there for a reason, bro. You
How
gotta
much?
catch. You
It's
gotta.
the
You
thought.
gotta.
Listen. The thought behind. Listen. It says, and surely your blood of your lives will I require. Why is your blood being required? Gideon.
Because you're not supposed to spill man's blood, man. And
Hold
every
on.
time
No,
you
I'm saying,
kill a
listen, bro.
beast,
You just talked about the semicolon, but you disregarding the semicolon because you're not looking at the thought that's behind it. It says, and surely your
right,
blood. Listen. What's behind it? That we don't get to the other one later. It says, look, and surely your blood. It says, but the flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. So he's commanding them. Anything anything that has the guy's flesh that has blood in it, ye shall not eat. Watch what he says. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. Watch what he says. Semicolon, you see it there. At the hand of every beast will I require. What is he requiring? If you
your
uh,
life.
uh, right, but what is it at? It's at the hand of every beast, right?
Right.
So what beast is he talking about?
Any beast, every beast.
So let me ask you this: why is it this
But
is
it's
every?
not dealing. It's not dealing with eating. Like I said, you're not. It says, but flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat.
So
And
hold on,
surely
how's
your
it?
blood of your lives will I require.
Wait, brother.
Furthermore, go ahead.
How's it not eating when it says shall ye not eat? When you just said that it's not talking about eating, but it's just said ye shall ye not eat. So how's
Right,
that not?
because you're after the semicolon. Shall you
Oh
not eat is
my
before the
God.
semicolon. I'm telling you, bro. Go to ain't so real a teacher or something like that. Ask him.
Oh my God, bro. Like
He'll
this
tell
is
you.
just getting ridiculous.
He'll tell you, bro. When I say you should eat, but the flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat. You shall not eat the. And he's talking about the clean animals. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. He's still talking about those animals. Semicolon. Basically saying, furthermore, at the hand of every beast will I require it. Furthermore, and at the hand of man, and at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of him. You see what I'm saying? I'm serious, like serious, bro. Ask, him,
Hey, bro.
you
Listen.
know,
Let me look at my chat room, man. Peace to the family in here.
yeah, man. I mean, it's
Peace to the brother Yeshua, Libby, and Nile in here. Peace to that brother. Yohanakin, Ben Yahuda, Yochanan. I'm sorry, Yochanan. I'm sorry, Ben Yahuda, Ecclesiastes, um, Ellen, Ellenkis, um, uh, I'm sorry with pronouncing you guys' name, and I definitely ain't been looking at this chat room. What's going on? I'm reading your comments right now. Who is J Man? Peace, brother. Um, the white. Let's see who all up in here. CMB. I talked to CMB earlier. D Red. What's had D Red in the building? Lex Vortex. What's going on? Peace.
word. Great.
Yeah,
So
but
y'all having a special on sale, huh?
huh?
Y'all still doing that special on sale?
What's special on sale?
Number special with shield.
Oh yeah, the Shield Squad.
Yeah. Damn, when you got it?
Yeah, I believe so. I can't. I don't really know. I have to really look at that first because I'm not up to speed on that. But we got Michael Edwards in the building, man. Michael Edwards, I sent you an invite. You can come on up in here, brother. Your lips look like cracked wallpaper. That's what your lips look like. But anyways, Michael Edwards, man, come on here and come and get this work, bro. Um, Michael Edwards up in the building. That boy, you need to stop, man. That boy, Michael Edwards. That boy be outside in that
Hey, bro,
yard.
I see how he brought it to the brother Jabbar. He asking some real pertinent questions, man, that they need to answer. But
Who did?
Michael Edwards, I seen he asked him, as far as like what's the fascination with Kemet and like what's the deal with Kush, you know. So I'm just trying to find something good to say about the brother because I seen him take that L on Sinetta, but he be going hard. I seen that video with him
Oh
and
yeah,
Jabbar.
Michael Edwards took. Yeah, he took that L, man. Israel Doctor gave that boy that work, man.
Nah, Israel ain't giving him that work because he did it to himself, bro. When
Right,
he
but
really didn't.
Israel Doctor smashed him, bro. Like he didn't do it to himself.
Nah,
Israel did it to him.
right. But I mean, the brother be going hard. You dig? He be going hard, man. So,
That boy was in there, man. He was in that thing, man. He got beat up in there.
yeah, right.
He had that boy. He made that boy put down. That boy put down the New Testament. He got beat up so bad.
No, that's crazy. Damn. But you gotta be firm, man. Gotta be firm.
Yeah, man. That boy is a Michael Edwards. Boy, I don't understand how he say he is a he is he a Hebrew and he ain't got no grass in his yard. No crops or nothing, man. You can't. The Hebrews deal with agriculture, man. His brother's grass is just his brother's yard just as barren as I don't know what. This brother ain't got another olive tree in his yard.
What you thought about design? What you thought about design next debate, man? What you thought about that?
Wait, let me hold that thought real quick, man. Let me do something real quick with this brother, Michael Edwards, man.
Go ahead.
We gonna talk about Zion Lex too, but I gotta definitely give a special
Go ahead.
shout out
Yeah,
to
handle
this
your
brother,
business.
Michael Edwards. Michael Edwards, man. Like I don't know, man. This brother, he in and out, man. Like the fast food place in Cali. You know, 1 minute he in and 1 minute he out. It's like he playing double dutch. You know, we don't know where this brother at. He lukewarm, neither hot nor cold. Anyways, Michael Edwards, man, this brother, man, you know, I've seen his yard. You know, this brother, man, you know, you say you're a Hebrew. You know, you have no grass. You know, there's no type of pastoral activity going on in your front yard nor your backyard. You know, like I stated before, you have, you know, you depend on the roosters next door for an alarm clock at your neighbor's house to get up and feed them little stanky pit bulls you got in front of the yard that's on that dusty yard that goes over in your neighbor's yard to eat grass and bring it back or smuggle grass over across the border back into your yard to get you a little patches in your yard that you got right now. You know? So it's just like I don't really know what to say to you, man. You know, I already talked about your rooftop. That's short. You know, you got one of them little roofs that the little you know your roof is super short. I can do a stand and jump on top of your roof. I can stand and just jump on top. I ain't got to do a run start. I could just do a drop step right on top of your roof. That's how short your roof is. And I'm only like 5'7". So you know your roof got to be short, right? You know your roof short when you know
Well,
you walk in and
you say
scrape
put
the
it in
top
the
of your
chat.
head, huh?
You say put the link in the chat, so it seems like he. I'm gonna let y'all go and do y'all thing. You hear me? I'm gonna just sit back and listen.
Right. You gonna drink that tea you got over there with no beard?
They say tea with no beard. I'm back.
Right. You
Boy,
ain't know
y'all
he
Christians, boy, y'all. They say, boy, y'all know the law, but y'all refuse to do that stuff, man. Boy, y'all crazy, man.
you don't keep the law. You shave your beard, you got a gold tee, and you say you keep the law. How does that work out?
Right, man, but hey, bro,
Show me any Israelite that's round in the corners of their face. You got a gold tee.
bro. First of all, bro, there's some talk about if that's even talk that might be talking about cuttings for the dead, but it's all in how you read it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But even if
I
it
mean,
wasn't
you,
cuttings
you
for the
you should be
dead,
lucky. I'm even letting you speak to me without a beard because I don't even talk to people
right?
without a beard. I'm just like out of
I mean,
Chicago.
you talk to Christians, man. They'll tell them what Christians do, man. They
Right.
they
You keep
have no barometer.
you
They
keep you
their barometer is whatever pastor they go to. So if
man.
that
You hey,
pastor,
listen, you don't keep one Sabbath day
how you know that?
because I know you don't, bro. You don't keep one Sabbath day.
How you know that? All right,
Right.
you think so, man? So you think we have to? I mean, but you need to get understanding of why Yeshua really came, man.
Right. But you shaving your beard
Because
though, bro. So if you if you
we are commanded to observe the Shabbat.
well, let me
If
ask you a
if
question. If you shaving your beard, you didn't broke the law right there, right? Would you agree to that?
by me shaving my beard and by being
If
stated in the law,
you round in the corners of your beard, have you broken the law?
right, right. The law says you shall not round the corners of your beard. And like I said,
So let me ask you a question. How
there's
you
some talk. Wait, let me
what,
finish. Let me.
hold on, If you
There
break
is some
one,
talk that says that might be pertaining for cuttings for the dead. But even if it is for you should not cut the corners of your beard. And if I'm in violation of that, I ask the Most High to forgive me. You don't think I went over
So
that
have you
scripture
actually?
before?
So listen. Have you actually kept the Sabbath then?
Right. Definitely.
You couldn't possibly keep the
Definitely.
Sabbath if you
But
cut your beard every
unfortunately, I
Sabbath.
work. How do you know? Sometimes I might not cut my beard.
But you still got to
Sometimes
go.
I might only cut my beard when I have to go to work and look presentable.
And then if you right, and so you
They will fire me.
right. So you
You
probably
feel me? That's understanding. You know, you have wisdom, you have knowledge, and you have understanding. Yeshua is understanding.
hey, listen, bro. I'm
You feel me?
like this is just so inconsistent. You always arguing about what the Christians do, and
Bro, I'm waiting for one time for you to say I'm inconsistent, and I
you
bring you
just,
back to
bro,
where you
you been
show me, and
inconsistent.
then I show you where you don't have no clue of what you're saying, but you keep saying inconsistent. You said that last time, and I asked you where was I inconsistent. Then I had
Bro,
to show you what you wasn't looking at it. And I mean, I'm trying to find out where I'm inconsistent at, man.
bro, you
I
been
mean, you like
inconsistent
to call,
all night, man.
you know what I noticed? You guys like to call brothers who follow Torah and
No,
with
I'm
an
tell you what I
understanding
noticed.
like
I noticed that
myself.
I
Y'all
noticed that
like to use words like lukewarm, inconsistent. But I mean, what do you think Yeshua came to die for?
hey,
I
not
mean,
your bird. He didn't come
you
to
ask,
die for
okay,
your bird.
let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question. You were speaking about, you have, bring you into your home and you have rules that you okay, check this out. So you have kids, right? So you have kids in your home. You have rules for those kids. And you might tell your kids, don't come in the house with mud on your feet. Don't come in the house, jump on the sofa. Don't come in the house, go in the kitchen without washing your hands. But they always do that. They'll never listen. So you're telling me you're going to kick them out and let some more kids come in that can do it now and it's cool that they do it? Come on, man. It don't make sense, man. As above, so below. Everything that makes sense on earth because it makes sense in heaven. You'll never do that. Am I
Right
lying?
now here's the thing.
Or
Now here's what you
understanding?
here's what you're not telling.
I'm gonna pray, bro. I'm gonna pray that she'll get some understanding on it. You know
Well,
what I'm saying? For y'all.
you need to pray for a bird. That's what you need to pray for because you stop lying in the corners of
And
that
bro,
thing.
they say y'all be so hard on them camps, man. Y'all starting to get weapons and stuff, man. Y'all got shields. What y'all gonna have? Maces next and
No, we're gonna have some.
swords. And,
We gonna.
come on, man. They whenever they get on the phone, I notice like I mean, I don't know where it's at now, but you was their little street cred for a minute until her show jumped down your throat and I mean, Lord, bro.
Listen. Hey, first of all, hold
I
on.
can do a get rid of
Now,
yeah.
listen. Be for reals. Hashar sitting up there, face naked as ever. I'm talking about this boy had a little rubber band around a little bit that he had down there. I don't know why he had the rubber band attached to that down there, but that looked real stupid, like a little midget ponytail up under his face. But anyways, this brother, do you actually think that Hashar can speak anything intelligent overall when it comes concerning what we dealing with? Not so, bro. This brother has no intelligence at all when it comes to the book, man. This brother out there screaming, yelling all day.
Nah,
Come out the heat.
brother got a lot of he know a lot of stuff, bro. It's just I pray for the brothers, but it's gonna be manifested, man. The brothers that's gonna be the remnant out those camps, bro, it's gonna get real, man. We need soldiers. A lot of people gonna die, bro. And I don't know.
Well, let me get back on. But anyways, that's cool though, man. But at the end of the day, Michael Edwards still ain't got no grass. His pet bulls is barely living over there. They barely eating. Michael Edwards drive a Magnum that looked like a Hirsch. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, it's still what it is, what it is. But anyways, yeah, Gideon, it shall be what it shall be, man. Just like what your logo is. You got a line on there. You got a line as your profile. Your lion got a bird. Your lion got a bird, but you ain't got one. So you're not Israel, man. You're a Hamite. You come straight from Kush. You straight deep South Nile, brother. That's where you deep South Nile.
Cool with that. Cool with that.
Right.
Man,
So stop walking around here like you're an Israelite. You ain't no lion. You got your face naked like one of them felines.
it was one point where I was gonna just claim my mother heritage. You know, my mother, she a Cushite, and I still knew I was gonna be an Israelite. I'm good either way. I'm good, man. You can't. I mean that mean doctrine gonna say.
I'm just playing with you though, bro. I'm just playing.
I already know. I already know.
But I ain't playing with. I'm not playing with Michael Edwards though. Michael Edwards boy is a traitor. He done sold his soul to the devil.
Hey, bro, I'm about to fall back, man. Just listen till you ride on out, bro.
All right, peace, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man.
All right, no doubt, man. Be blessed, bro.
You too, brother. Yeah, but anyways, let me get Michael Edwards in this demonstration, man, because this brother right here, man. Let me see if I can get this brother up in this piece. I sent you an invite, Michael Edwards. Oh, Michael Edwards, man, you came on Sanetta's show tonight, boy. You talk like your breath stank. You was in there talking tonight. I said, this brother sound like his breath stank. You sitting at the crib, sitting in front of the fan with your mouth open, looking real silly, lips all dry because of the wind cracking your lip off the fan. You's a clown, Michael. Michael Edwards, man, don't know that Bible for nothing, man. That brother's so weak when it comes to that Bible, man. That brother be making up stuff, over talking people, and everything. Michael Edwards, you still in that the church playing that piano like that? Now maybe tell everybody what you be on. You be in that church playing that piano like that, bro. Michael Edwards. That brother Michael Edwards came on Sonetta's show tonight and was the clown, man. Straight bozo. Hey, what's up? I sent you the link, bro. I put it right on the screen. I opened up the thing right there on the screen. Kevin G, you got the link too to come in if you want to. I sent you the link. I ain't playing no games. I sent you the I invited you. I want you to come in here. Cause you's a bozo. You might as well go on up there with San Diego and go up there with that clown Sikari with those GMS, with those hacky sack players. Them boys be out there. They don't be preaching the gospel. Them boys be out there playing hacky sack. They got that little bean and be kicking it up in the air. That little bean bag. They kicked the little bean bag up in the air. That boy, man. That boy Deacon a car, man. That brother be rapping, don't he, y'all? That boy be rapping. That boy be rapping. That album hot, but them Hebrew garments look like trash. I'll be wearing over there, man. That boy been going. He be going in on that album. He be rapping his behind off. That 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 stuff y'all be running that corner, boy. And that boy, Gorilla Hebrew, he was out there, he was sagging. How you sagging and then talking about thus said the Lord? What kind of prophet is you? What kind of Levite? What kind of priesthood you running over there, bro? You over there sagging. You got on some super baggy sweatpants. It's super hot in San Diego. You got on some sweatpants sagging and talking about give me Leviticus chapter 5. Looking silly as ever, man. Wearing with how you shouldn't even be up there talking about you a priest and you got on you didn't tore up your sleeve and then rent your sleeve and then tied it around your head looking like Bozo the Clown up there. Hey man, give me that Isaiah 14. You got Bimbo Slice, he up there reading, looking real silly. Every time you see that boy, it's a feast day. Every day to that brother is unleavened bread. Every day is unleavened bread. Man, I'm talking about year round. Every time you see that boy, he eating. You couldn't possibly be keeping kosher. Because every time you looking around, you at some type of fast food place, eat some type of, some bull crap. You couldn't possibly be cooking kosher, but keeping kosher. Something ain't right. Bimbo Slice with that musty bird looking like an old he goat in the face. That's who you look like. That's who that boy looked like. That boy held this I seen that boy out there talking through that bird. I said, look at this clown. This dude is a clown, man. Sitting out there with that Hitler bird, with that Hitler mustache.
Man, he said he said every time you see his brother it's a feast day. Man,
His
you
brother,
off the hook, man. Look, what time is it, man?
his brother keep unleavened bread every day. You hear me?
Hey, listen, man. Look, what's going on, man? I come on here and I see you just going.
Man, man.
Yeah, look, I see Michael's a part of this conversation, but he said he can't find the link.
Ah, man, Michael ain't got no grass on his yard, man. He supposed to be dealing with agriculture.
Man, what is going on? This late. What's going on?
Man, what's going on is these brothers is entitled to get whatever's coming to them, what I'm saying about tonight, because they is not preaching this gospel. You got Michael Edwards sitting up there playing at these churches with that tamarine. That boy got a belt. He got a belt with baby tamarines on it.
Oh man.
That boy, hey, look with that fake. He got that fake chain on. That boy got that chain straight out the gumball machine. That boy's a clown, man.
Who was the first brother that was on?
Oh, that was Gideon, man. That boy, Gideon, boy, he be sitting back drinking tequila wild. That boy be drinking back. He be sitting back drinking that. He sit back be drinking what's that that what's called, man, with the worms in it. I was like,
Oh man.
what's that drink they be drinking, man? That boy Gideon, man, is a joke, man. He's sitting up here inconsistent, contradicting himself, man.
I said, LeBron out here burning the midnight oil, man. Past midnight. You done went through midnight oil. You in next week's supply, man.
Yeah, man, that boy.
Heck, gone. Man, you got me crying up here, man. I was like, man, this dude.
And
Man.
then you saying, I'm trying to figure out how this brother's hands look like they about 80, but he 40. Michael Edwards' hands, man. Michael, you ever seen Michael Edwards' hands before, man?
Nah, I haven't. What's
Man, it's like somebody took that boy's hands and slammed them in the refrigerator, man.
Come on, man.
Hey, that boy's hands look like degenerate. That boy's hands look like his hands look like, man, he ain't got no type of carbon in his hands at all, man. They just look super decayed, man.
Said no carbon.
Hey, that boy's hands look like it ain't got a lick of half-life in them.
Oh, sad.
Hey,
you invited him up. You know he in the back, man.
Yeah, I know it, man. Hey, man, that brother's hands, man, look like they fossilized.
Damn.
I said, man, his brother's hands look terrible, man. I got a picture of that brother's hands. That nigga's hands look bad, man. Let me give hilarious.
I remember back when it was like 2014.
Right, I know, and he played beautiful music. The boy not a play some music, man, but his hands just look terrible. That's how I knew. That's how I said this brother. But his dad probably had him playing all his life, because his hands just look like they've been to work, man. Man, them hands look beat up, man.
Oh man, you reminded me, man. It was some old man joking us in the warehouse. He say stuff like that. He said, "We got to ask for a body part." He's like, "Your feet look like they doing something. Your body's still fat."
Man.
Oh man.
And that boy's hands so wrinkled, like he sleep with his hands in water. Yeah, that boy's hands look terrible, man. I can't believe this brother walking around. Hey, man, he gonna go to that on August 13th. They got that thing with Sonetta, recognition with Sonetta. I would like to be to that thing, but can you imagine, man? Can you imagine this brother sticking his hands out to give somebody a handshake? Man, I would never.
Hey, so what happened today, Sonetta?
Huh?
What happened today,
Sonetta? Michael Edwards had got on there. Well, actually, let me tell you what happened. Tazaryak had a debate with a discussion with this Jewish black Jew dude, and Tazaryak beat that boy to man. He beat the shoes off that boy. I ain't even gonna lie, he beat that boy up so bad. And the dude made certain points for us concerning certain things, but this brother did not go to the book one time, and he went to all of these other writings. And I just find it.
So this brother that he was like an Orthodox.
Yes, yeah, man. He was out there bad, man.
So Tazaryak beat the brakes off him.
Tazaryak slaughtered that boy, man. I'm talking about, man. He beat it. And Tazaryak was just sitting there that whole time looking, man, I can't wait till I get this mic. He was like, I ain't worried at all. That boy had them braids was super tight on Tazaryak's head. I can see his man.
Oh, man.
And you know what's so crazy though, man? Because I've been knowing Tazaryak. I've been seeing Tazaryak for years, man. I don't know. Like, this brother's hair does not grow, bro. Like, like if anybody ain't noticed, like, this brother's hair been the same.
Know, maybe he keep it at a certain length, man. I don't know. I mean, he not following the Nazarene.
Nah, because I'm pretty sure he got Katazad Caesar Borgia sitting beside him, so I know he probably wanted something the length of that brother, but I don't know if anybody peeped that, but that brother's hurt. He cannot, like, it won't grow, man. Like, I've been peeping that, man. It's like I'm gonna have to ask him, like, you keep it a certain length, because I see his beard growing. His beard getting longer than his hair, and that's kind of weird.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's something he's doing, man. Some people maintain the style. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people don't want to grow a big old beard or whatever like that. I don't know, man.
Right. Yeah, I see.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's like, man, like, it just ain't right. This brother, man, had on some boots, bruh, with fringes on it.
Wow.
Like, bro, like when you see it, bro, like this brother
went jumps on a Choctaws hat on, right?
Man, this brother looked like this brother like he had horse saddles on his feet, bro. I promise you.
Oh man.
Yo, I'm not even lying, bro. This bro had rain boots on with saddles on them, bro. I mean with fringes on it, bro.
Oh man, you say he was looking like Earth, Wind, and Fire off the Let's Groove video.
Man, this brother was out there, and I couldn't believe it. I said, man, is them pants? I don't know, brother. I'm like below, when it get down below his knees, it was some type of leather. I don't know if it was shower curtain material or whatever it was, but
oh damn,
it was ridiculous, bro. I was like, this dude country, man. Like,
it was probably corn. It was probably Corinth leather, man. You don't know, man.
Man, I don't know what it is. I know one thing. I can see why brothers, feel kind of comfortable around them brothers, man. Because if you sitting around and you looking at the movie world, and you sitting amongst like superheroes and superhero outfits, then you will feel comfortable around them guys, man, because they out there, man. They got these costumes on, and they some big dudes, man. So these costumes cost money that they got. These ain't no regular costumes. These ain't like what Bimbo Slice got. He just cut a pillowcase out.
That's a lot of leather, man. That's a lot of leather, man.
That's a lot of leather, man. I'm trying to figure out.
What you talking? Let's do the math, man. What you talking like per brother? You talking about like 1.5 cows or something?
Man, I'm telling, man. Listen, I'm gonna have. I just about know they so deep. ISUPK so deep. I just about know they probably got a back order on at Wilson's Leather, a back order. Cause they deep, man. Ain't enough cows for them brothers, man. Ain't enough cows for them brothers. Them brothers wear leather from the top to the toe, from the crown to the toe, bro.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, that's something to look into, man. I mean, that's a question to ask them. Where y'all get y'all leather from, man?
Right, where you getting that leather from? I don't know if they put it out, because you can kind of like if you might can cut out a couple of couch pieces here and there, but that's just.
Hey, because these brothers is just coming out Eddie Bauer this.
Right.
These brothers Eddie Bauer edition, man.
Yeah, man. What I'm trying to figure out is the change, man. Like, I see the little change that they weren't, but man, like with everything has a star on it. Them brothers starred down. Them brothers look like a universe, a galaxy.
Oh man, damn. Yeah, that's wild, man. I don't know, man. You got to talk to him, man.
Right. So we gonna see what goes on, man. What's really going on? But yeah, man. So I just got a plethora of questions that I just want to ask these brothers, man. Just out here, man. One of the questions I want: where do you get the leather from? Where do you get it from? Because it's like it's someone's biker gear out there.
I don't know, man. I think they got a back order with Harley Davidson or something. I don't know.
Probably.
I don't
I
know, man. I
think
mean,
so.
the brothers just love they leather, man. It's hot too. It's summer. I'm thinking in the summer, they switch it up or something like they do like some linen, you know,
No,
something
the
like
summer,
that. But
yeah, because the winter gear that they got it got insulation in it, but the summertime gear is summer. It's summer made on it. It got some type of material to where that's why because I think when they be sitting that stage out, I think they plug in a fan up under that stage. I think and the table they be out there with, they might have a fan up under that stage so it can kind of like get up under that leather a little bit.
man,
Yeah.
that's probably why he's been cutting his hair, man, to compensate. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you know that probably is right. That's probably why because
That's
it's too
probably it.
hot to try to have that leather, try to have that hair in the beard at the same time.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know, man.
That boy Caesar Borgia, I don't care what nobody say, man. That brother put on that and looked it real silly, man. Like I don't even see how this brother
But
can have.
what did he do lately? Like, what's going on with him?
Man, listen, they did a show on me and Vocab, right? Now, when they did the show on me and Vocab, Caesar Borgia made it his I'm talking about this brother, man. He really was talking about me bad. You know what I'm saying? I really had a problem with that because, you know, I'm looking I'm just looking at it the whole time like, bro, you look just like Harry Rosenberg. Like
That's why, you know what? I'm not lying. I told you that privately. When I saw that dude, I was like, is that Harry?
yeah, I'm sure.
ISPPK, and I didn't realize it was the other dude.
Yeah.
He looked just like Harry, like his twin brother or something. I'm like, damn. I'm like, man.
Yeah, man, but I'm trying to get this brother Michael Edwards in here, man. This dude is a clown, man. Michael Controversy, Michael Edwards. Let me look at it, matter of fact. Michael.
He's in the chat. He's in here.
Yeah, but he got so many. He's a troll, so he got so many profiles. You got to find which one that he's go up under. He's such a troll.
I mean, you got let me see. Excuse me, let me see. Hold on. Nah, he's in here.
He's saying that he don't see it.
He's right here.
Is he looking in?
Nah, he's not. He's not looking at it at all. But he's in the list of people in the group.
Right. So evidently.
So what he's got to do though is he's got to go in his Hangout link or his Hangout page, and he's got to see the ongoing call in that list of his Hangouts.
Right, but you know he got a Boost mobile phone, so it probably ain't.
Oh man. Oh man.
He the only dude I know, man, that's still walking around there with a pager in California.
Say you guys still got a pager?
Boy got a pager in California, man. That boy.
Oh man. Edwards. I haven't watched these videos in a little bit. I mean, I actually been on YouTube freeze lately.
Yeah, this brother ain't even got a lawnmower. He ain't got to cut no grass.
He say he don't need his lawnmower.
He don't need nothing, man. This brother ain't got no grass. His yard is just so unfruitful. This is all
like Israel when they curse, huh?
Man, just so unfruitful, man.
He says, yeah, like the dude was to have imports and exports in his yard or something. Like,
Nothing.
You want his brother have a palm tree or something? I mean, damn.
That brother be sitting down. That brother be laying on the roof, be waiting for the Lord to let down the sheep. He be looking forward to Acts chapter 5.
Oh man, you wild.
Acts chapter 10. he be waiting for the Lord to let that knit down with all them 4-footed beats so he can get busy.
Rise, Michael.
Rise up, Michael, and eat. He don't even right. Look, he ain't got look. Not so, Lord.
Be like, all right.
You ain't got to tell him twice. Matter of fact, he get up immediately and get to eating because he barely eating already. He get up and get to feeding his dogs, all types of pork and all types of stuff.
Now, I think Michael keep it kosher, man.
Man, Michael be sneaking and be eating anything he can get his hands on, man. He look like
So you honestly think this brother roll by McDonald's get an egg McMuffin?
yeah, he do all of that, bro. Look at his lips, man.
Come
His
on.
lips like the bread of the egg McMuffin, bro. Look at his lips, man. You all what you eat.
Oh man. I think you keep it kosher, man. I'm putting my money on keeping it kosher, man.
Man, that brother, man.
I think he keep it kosher, man. I'm putting my money on that, man.
What's up with Michael, man? Trying to get out. What's up with him, man? Cause like I've been seeing him, man. He been banging that NWA stuff real hard. He didn't move to LA. He don't know how to act, bro.
Well, lately I haven't, like I said, I've been watching any of his stuff though. But man, like I've been so out of touch with the community. Now I did get in touch with and see what's going on with the Dagger Squad and all that. But yeah, that's a totally different subject, man.
Right. But yeah, man, Michael, bro. Like I don't know, man. Like the brother, man. I don't know, man. He don't know if he coming or going, man. Like that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if he coming or going or not.
But he ain't coming in this hangout. So I know.
Right.
Yeah, but I see if you added him, man. What is he doing? He's still in the back chat.
Yeah, he don't really want this work, man. I've been trying to get this brother to. I really just wanted this name.
What he wants you to do is put the link in the main chat.
Yeah, I can't put it in that main chat because we might have some heathens coming up in here get to tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah, but peace to the brother Malik X. Man, we just in here, man, just making this really about you know, we got off into a couple of things later on earlier. Then we got off into some scriptures. So we just having fun and Bible chat a little bit, man, and
Yeah.
chastising Michael Edwards and the ISUPK a little bit and sick Kari. Yeah, man. But that brother yeah, man.
Now, hold on. Is the Gorilla still going at it with vocab and all that?
Ah, man, he definitely is. And then Deacon Hakar, he actually put the brother's name in his rap. And I'm just like, he said something. This sounded real stupid and pitiful. But I noticed that
go ahead.
I noticed that Deacon Hakar, and what amazes me is that him and Sakari, they like to debate people that don't know history nor the text. It's like they pick they battles. Like they know who to mess with and who not to mess with. You know, so I find it odd that they do that. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that they.
You saying vocab don't know his history or nothing? Like
No. They it's like they won't. They really don't. They want to try to get it in with vocab now, but at first it's like they didn't really have interest.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, because everybody want to get it in with vocab. You know, but you got brothers that's been trying to get at what they've been teaching for the longest in the community, and you can't get them to really, you know, get it in with nobody for reals and really ask them some questions. So I noticed they keep picking people who they want to debate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Michael, man.
I mean, I understand. He knows what the list of hangouts are in the because he drops links in them.
Right.
So
So
if he knows to go where he drops the links in the Hangouts, he should see the one at the top will have the camera or the mic, or it says it's an open call. But
I don't think I haven't seen Michael drop a link in the Hangout for the longest though.
man,
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah, but he just he called in to Sonetta tonight. Bless his soul.
Nah,
Uh,
he been dropping stuff in there. Oh, he sent me a message.
what did he say?
Oh, you sent it to the wrong account. He
Oh,
just sent me a message. I didn't see it. You hear what I said, or you not interested no more?
hold on for a minute. Somebody just sent me a message. Let me see if it's him. And it's not really that hard to find me, so I don't know why Michael Edwards is playing these games.
Nah, you said the one in the link is Mr. Controversial 2, Michael Edwards. His account is Michael Edwards, Mr. Controversial.
Hold on for a minute. Let me see something. I sent Malika a link.
Who Malik X?
I sent him a link. I sent Hilarious a link too.
Oh, hilarious ain't up, man. And you know that boy bedtime at 9 o'clock.
That boy, yeah, that boy got that. That boy got that super old. He got that super old flat top.
He saw that hilarious Zulu.
Yeah, I seen that flat top. That flat top. He had that boys in the hood flat top. I'm like, ah man, that would go well.
You saw what the one Doughboy had in the flashback scene.
Yeah, he had that. That would go way. I seen that flat top. I said, man, hey, when he
Hey,
turned,
he looked like the kid that played Doughboy.
yeah, yeah. Hey, look, when he turned around, I was trying to see if he had a
see a dead body.
right.
Like, nah, nigga.
Hey, when that brother turned around, I was trying to see if he had a ducktail in the back of his neck. But he didn't have it. What's going on,
What's
Malik?
going on, Malik?
All right, peace, brothers. What's going on, G Conscious? It's been a while. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Hey, what's up, Kevin? Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, man. I'm digging the avatar, man. That looks nice, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I just took a picture, of the man, and with some software site. Dude sent me, learn to make a picture with it, or write something beside it,
All right. What brings you on? What's going on?
I just found your show and I heard y'all talking about Bible, so I thought I'd maybe join and talk with y'all for a while.
Okay.
No, I'm off work. I'm off for the 4th of July holiday, so
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Bubba.
Yeah. So as far as Bible scriptures, do I have an echo?
Oh, let me. I'll mute because it's probably me. I don't hear you, but you probably have an echo on your side.
No, I mean I hear myself echoing. That's what I was saying. No, anyway, as far as Bible scriptures, I don't know what version y'all read, because I know the Bible is very vast and it's been, written, rewritten, tainted, whitewashed, mostly. There's actually a Bible I'm trying to get that, somebody hit me to when I first joined the conscious community. I just haven't had a chance to get it or the money, but I'm gonna get it as soon. It's Arabic pronunciations. Basically, most Bibles, I think, originated, from the African the tribes and African, knowledge, and especially the pronunciations, like the pronunciation of Cush, Because when I went to a Christian school, in high school, they only allowed us to buy and use the King James version, which I found kind of odd. So but then when I got out of school, I've met brothers and sisters who showed me different things about the Bible that I didn't know, or were purposely, left out and ignored. Then I started, to broaden my, conscious horizon.
It's weird about the Bible though, because when you start looking at it, like the Bible deals with different cultures of people from around the world, but
Of course,
when you
yeah,
really
yeah, different races, yeah.
when you really start studying the history of the Bible, and they say the Bible is an African book, which it does deal with some different African culture as far as what they was doing for us in Egypt or the Nile Valley, and then over in the Levant area. But when we start looking at the laws and different things that we see in the judgments and the commandments, those are Eastern, uh, either Near East or Middle East laws are cultural thing, cultural aspects that we look at when we look at those things. So when we look at it, we're looking at the people that where we can see certain laws that we'll look at it from a westernized perspective, and not from a cultural perspective or Eastern cultural perspective. And we'll say, well, they that's crazy, or this and that, but that's how those people did things in those days. So when you say that the book is a white man's book, or when people say it's been tainted down culturally, we don't even see that type of culture, but coming from the Near East, or somewhere in maybe the Levant and somewhat of the Northern Africa. So it's kind of
Right.
weird.
Because another thing you can tell too is that when you see the Bible translated into its English counterparts, you notice that the words and the terms change then, but they're only very small. For instance, if you go to like the 91st Psalm, it says shield and rampart. I mean, shield and rampart are only tools that are used by those in the Eastern European or just general European militaries. Or when it speaks about the unicorn, of course, they don't have anything that's a part of that taxonomy or that wildlife in their animals. So what they tend to say is, oh, it's a horse with a horn on it. Whereas they don't have the understanding of a Ursamax or a bull or a Taurus-like animal that the Easterners or the people in the Levant will consider a unicorn or something like. So it's just cultural differences that they had, and it just made its way into the Bible. But can we say that the Bible itself is a European book, or that it has any type of European influence to a high degree? I highly doubt that, because during the time of its spreading, you had over 25,000 manuscript copies of the Bible. Only 5,000 of those were in European languages, was in Greek and whatnot. But all the rest of them were in other languages also in and around that time. I mean, look at Ethiopia, for instance, has not been colonized by British power or British rule ever. Yet it has its full unadulterated version of the Bible. They follow the New Testament there. They have the Old Testament there. They have the Bible there without touching anything that came from a European standpoint. So can we truly say that all over the world? No, we can't. We can't say that.
Yeah, I didn't mean G. I didn't mean it was a white man's book. I was saying it was whitewashed in a lot of ways, as far as through historical, you know, through time. The historical events of time. When I grew up, from my point of view, the way I grew up was my first Bible wasn't an actual Bible. It was a children's Bible, and all the people, it had pictures. You can read stories, the religious stories, scriptures, but all the pictures of all the people were drawn over white, and Jerusalem, wherever. I mean, there was no mention of Africa, nothing. But as I started to read the real Bible, I just read it as words. I didn't think to go into any study or history of it, because it was the Bible. And plus, when I was small, I didn't like to read. For the most part, it was boring. It wasn't until I became a young adult when I met people who told me, showed me different scriptures and it wasn't even based on race. It was based on scriptures that weren't told to me about Jesus Christ himself. Now, then later, as I got more into my Black history study, this is after, the movie Posse came out. I was studying Black Cowboys, but then I started slowly leaning towards African history studies, any kind of Black history studies I could find. And then I discovered a website called The Deeper Spirit, which is where I started the deeper African Egyptian studies, which I have. I got a bunch of books now, and they go off mostly about religion, the original scripture text translations of where it originated and where it started and where it's gone now. Now you're right. Yeah, there's all kinds of cultures that have their own versions. What I meant was, I believe the original scripture versions started of course, in the deep heart of Egypt, which is in Africa, and then it translated and got translated to different cultures all around. And of course, a lot of the scriptures talk about Jerusalem, right? The people in Jerusalem weren't white; they were dark skinned. I mean, they weren't black, but they were they were dark skinned.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But
Jesus Christ.
I
That's
would
what I
agree.
meant.
Yeah, because I
Yeah. Go
definitely
ahead.
would agree. There is a whitewashing when it comes to Europeans coming in and basically making these pictures and these different images. You know, I definitely would say that. That's definitely there. Uh, but we have to be careful ourselves that we don't try to counter Eurocentrism by Afrocentrism, because we need to put history back in its perspective and stop stealing, because we starting to steal from different cultures around the world just as well by blackwashing everything. So we're accusing them of whitewashing, which they're guilty of, and then we go right back with the same logic and reasoning and start blackwashing.
yeah,
Everything was black.
and that's something that we have to avoid, because when people blackwash stuff, what they're trying to do now, is it justified? Yes, it's justified because they see the anger in. They're taking everything that's black and had a black face. They're putting a white face on it. Is that a cause for anger? Yes, it is. Now, how do you retaliate to that? The objective should be to come in and to correct, not to come in and replace everything with a black face in order to satisfy the the anger and everything that you felt because they whitewashed everything. So that's the thing we got to remember. And what we have a lot of people in our community, what they tend to do is exactly what G Consciousness just said. They don't come in to correct; they come in to actually replace whitewash and put a black face to it. Are they mostly right? They could be mostly right, but at the same time, the objective is to get it correct, because you don't want to. For example, the Israelites, they say, well, King James was black. This person was black. This person was black, and just to label everybody black. But then it just becomes about skin color. Uh, but the question that I always ask to any Israelite or anybody that has that mindset is, your interest in this said historical figure was zilch. You had zero interest because you thought the person was white. But now that you're accepting that the person of Jesus Christ, or Yeshua HaMashiach, is a black man, all of a sudden you accept him. But what is it about the content of his character or the person himself that you're drawn to? Now that he has a black face, what is it about him now that he's now opening your eyes and giving you revelations and truths to things that you didn't understand before, or is giving you answers to your life? So I think that should be the perspective to approach any historical figure, is whether the figure himself or the person himself or the event itself has drawn you or molded you to become a better person before you even knew the person was even black or white. Because it seems that what a lot of Afrocentrists and people, not like you, Malik, because I'm not really sure how you are, but what they tend to do is like their interest in the historical figure is only brought about by the fact that, well, was the person white or black? And then they get into the character of the person and like, oh man, look what this person did. Like I'm sure if I heard of the feats of the Tuskegee Airmen, and what they have done, I would have been far more interested in what they did than the pride of them being black would have came last. Like, wow, they were my people. You see what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, yeah, but here's the thing. Historically, doesn't everything start with African history? I mean, Africa is the cradle of civilization, and it's known and it's common knowledge that the body of the first man was found in Africa, not just religiously, but historically, because because uh, because the knowledge is all people of all races originated from Africa because that's where the body of the first man was found. White that includes white people, Asian, uh, Vietnamese, everybody.
So let me ask you a question. Do you take pride in Asian history?
Oh yeah, I mean I haven't read any Asian history yet, but I like to start studying all cultures, Asian, Vietnamese. I guess the people Hindu people, people live in I guess Israel, Iraq.
Well, I say that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Like you
Yeah,
could be more mature than me and more experienced than me and more
because
well
even
learned than
because
I am.
even
But
yeah, even Karis one said no, everybody should study everybody's culture. I just been concentrating on Black culture because there's so much of it, and there's so much I don't know that I'm just discovering. So to get books on Asian history, that's a lot of reading. I just got to make time for a lot of reading.
Let me ask you a question. Um, what bones do you have to substantiate your claim that all men come up out of Africa?
I haven't actually found the book of the knowledge yet. I just heard it stated, but I think a book called "The Wretched of the Earth" might have that statement, or I might have to Google it, to find the author of where that was written. Also, I do have one book. The book you guys probably heard the author Ivan Van Sertima. He did the book They Came Before Columbus. Some of the pictures are are black people, but they're also of Asian descent. So you had black Asians. So Asian, there's a strong
hey,
connection there.
LeBron, when he tries to speak,
Okay, yeah.
sound crazy.
There's obviously a historical connection relation with with black Africans and Asian history too as well. It's like basically the pigmentation. If basically all people originated in Africa, apparently the pigmentation through the course of time, where some became European white, some became Asian, yellow. Then you have Israel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The whole spectrum. That was my point of studying all this black history.
Right, because I disagree with life started in Africa. According to I think that's a white supremacy. Um, they introduced that by way of you know when we start looking at primates and these different ape-like creatures, the
Now,
bones that
wouldn't white supremacy deny that? I mean, if they're white supremacy, they wouldn't start a lie about black started in Africa. Because see, basically, whites believe everything started with white people. They're the dominant race, the not dominant people, and we're just slaves or beneath them.
Well, you got to understand there's no conflict with, um, I guess you would put as evolutionary science or any type of white eugenics idea against the fact that life started out of Africa because they believe that life did start out of Africa. They are the more latter and more evolved type of the hominid species, whereas where we were the more primitive type. Uh, we're more closely related to the ape. Like out of Africa, the first hominids arrived. And when Homo sapiens sapiens came about, we went into Europe and we mixed with Neanderthal. And then so basically that's what they follow. So they're not against the out of Africa theory. Um, they support it. But what they will say is that I guess they were more evolved. But I say that's from the perspective of the more racist ones. Um, I don't know how should I put it. I haven't met any racist evolutionists lately. Um, like on my list of people. Have I met any in my life? Yes, but I don't know anybody right now that adheres to. I believe in evolution, but I also believe that you blacks are less intelligent because you're less evolved than we are. I think they kind of look at humans as being on equal of heel right now, and some actually believe that blacks have lower intelligence. But it just depends on the type of conversation you have and which one.
Right. My thing is this is that the reason why I take it as they would teach that is because when you look at the Bible, and we've watched people state this from the Armor Rock Squad and other people, and you might have it to where a lot of people that deal with the Bible might take that perspective because what the scientific community has given them to say that, well, all life started from Africa, of what we call the continent Africa today. But when we really look at certain things, we have to ask ourselves when we start looking in Kush or Kush is in India or Kish is in Mesopotamia, when you deal with the Kushite mountains, it seems to me that these people started from the east and migrated into the Nile Valley. And we also start looking at historical content. That's what they're saying. And so we can kind of see a flow of the Ubiad and the Uruk culture as far as pottery coming into the Nile Valley and also building coming into the Nile Valley. And most people will say, well, if you ask people, you say, well, what's your first buildings that you got or your architecture? Where's the precursor to writing in Egypt? These people just didn't pop on the scene and just start writing. Where's the precursor? Can we see how the formula of writing start coming into the picture here? Well, we can see that in Mesopotamia and also the Near East over in Susa, and we can also see an expansion of the Ubiad and the Uruk culture during that time from 6,000 to 5,000 BC, and then the Uruk culture from fourth millennium until you see, to later on, to you get to Egyptian when they come into their Nakata 2 or Nakata 3 period around the in the fourth millennium area. But we see that there are some ideals that are being shared and building techniques or architecture that we see. And anybody that's a mason that know about building, or anybody that know about contracting, or any of those things, or pottery, we can see that these people share some type of pottery, also building techniques that was earlier in Egypt. I mean, in Sumer, or the place that we see in Mesopotamia, than it is in the Nile Valley. You don't start seeing building upwards or just building any high monuments in the Nile Valley until, probably around the Nakata 3 period. And if that around the period of Doja, when he starts making his step pyramids and his complexes and those things. But you go to the Ubiad period, you have the Eridu, the White Temple, these different brick monuments that we see. These are built up as high places. Then we come into the Nile Valley, and we see that these people somehow, some way, we believe came from the same area over there in the Euphrates and traveled in the Nile Valley, and first traveled to the west of the Nile Valley, and then migrated later on back into the to the Nile, closer to the Nile, because of probably flooding or something. They didn't know how to control the Nile at that time, but was more so to the west. But then traveled back into the Nile once they learned how to maintain. But it's just a moving around of different people. That's what we see. Contractors, and Egypt was a great civilization, but it was built. Egypt was built on just how America is built. It was built the same way.
Yeah, because I've been told that even back then when blacks lived like kings, lived or supposedly lived righteous, they basically sold their own people, off to the Europeans as well. And a black man told me that, so blacks sold their own people off, for money and gold, and for whatever reason. So I was as you were talking, I found some links here. I wanted to read one. This you might find interesting. Europe was the birthplace of mankind, not Africa. Scientists find. Let's read this. It's by a lady named Sarah Napton, science editor. This is the article this year, May 22nd, 2017. The history of human evolution has been rewritten after scientists discovered that Europe was the birthplace of mankind, not Africa. Currently, most experts believe that our human lineage split from apes around 7 million years ago in Central Africa, where hominids remained for the next 5 million years before venturing further afield. But two fossils of an ape-like creature which had human-like teeth have been found in Bulgaria and Greece, dating to 7.2 million years ago.
Okay, this
See,
article this article is supposed to show that humans are derived from Europe.
Yeah, hold on. I'll screen share it. Probably easier to screen share it.
right, and see, that's the thing. Like, I don't think that um, humans came from Europe. What we do see in the historical data, we do see people. And I might be biased to a sense because I deal with the Bible, but then at the same time, you kind of can see the earlier cultures or cities in Mesopotamia. Even when we look at agriculture, it's first in the Levant or northern Mesopotamia in that area, spreading on down into Canaan, and then coming down into the southern part. Even when you look at Nat these people only went there for a season because they didn't know really how to tame that land, but for that season. But they went back to other places, and so people was not stationed there. So agriculture is actually the backbone of what they would call in Kemet, the Nile Valley, Osiris, or the backbone of life, or what we call the Jed pillar, because agriculture caused you to have stability and to be stable. This is why when you look at the Ankh itself, the Ankh is really a reed bundle tied in a knot, and it represents life. Why? Because it's more so than what we see the womb, but it's really the stability of life, because it causes one to be stable, and that's what agriculture does. It's the subsistence of life, and it causes one people to, they call it the backbone of Osiris or Osar. And so I think that, when we look at that, we can see that agriculture was first in the Levant or the Mesopotamian area, because this is area where we had marshes at, and we had reed huts and bundles and different things. These are how these people made their houses, the architecture of their houses. And so we can even see the very architecture that we see in Egypt having some type of way where it starts with stone, and then it starts with not stone, brick, and then stone monuments, but the architecture is from the same type of model of these ribbon mud heaps. So we can see the precursors of these people that's building and sharing these ideals and bringing them into different places and trading among each other and domesticating animals.
Because you can actually see how these things develop in the Levant, especially towards the east in the Levant, and you can see the completion of this architectural work as you go into Europe. Laurent, we found a site a couple of like a month or so ago. Remember that temple that was in Sardinia, and the architectural structure of that building is basically the same as what they were doing with with ziggurats and and that type of stuff. So it's like you could see how the architecture just kind of expands up and around that way. When it was more perfected, rather than in its primitive ways, like that we see in the Levant and everything, and the ziggurats that they built, and some of the temples that they built in and around the Levant. So, but yeah, I mean, this article here that you have up about Europe being the birth. I mean, you have articles like this that pop up every now and then.
Because they got one over in China too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
So
They have several articles saying stuff like, "Oh, civilization must have started here," or "Mankind must have been here," and you got little articles like that. I mean, based on little things they find, but I mean, honestly, when you look, like you were saying, LeBron, when you look at how language was first developed, and some of these tools were first developed, and when people actually learned to actually live off the land and everything else, you see all that in the Levant. You don't see it in these areas over here. You see it in the Levant.
so it's just the whole thing is when you start really to question and you say, well, hold on for a minute, where's these bones at? Or where's this stuff at? And you start to realize that what it traced back to is these ape-like creatures. Then so when you start even dealing with phylogenetics, or even when you're dealing with um when you're dealing with what is it, biological clocks, or it doesn't really tell us, like, we know we got the majority of variations of people within the continent of Africa, but it still doesn't explain where did the migration come from. Or I mean, what I mean by that is what direction. They'll make it seem like, oh, we know the direction where it came from, but the direction is based upon these bones, these fossils that they find.
And my bad, I ain't meant to say the Levant. That's one specific area. I meant to talk about the entire Fertile Crescent.
Yeah, the Fertile Crescent, which is also included. The Fertile Crescent also includes Egypt just as well too. Yeah, but Egypt was, there's this misconception about the Levant area, especially Israel, being Africa, and that Northeast Africa, and that's really a Afrocentric perspective, because you don't just go to Israel and say this is Africa, Northeast Africa. No, that is just pure retarded, because these people would have never called it Africa, let alone. So these people had boundaries, and their names was on these lands. Like if I say the land Canaan, that's his land. But in the land of Canaan, there may be Philisti, which is a child of Canaan or Canaan. And so he had his boundaries. Canaan may have been the whole land, but in the land of Canaan or Canaan was the lands of his son. Or when I say Mitzrayim, or Mitzri, or Muzri, or the Akkadian script has Misri in there, which what they called the people that was in Kemet, northern Kemet. So these people called these people by this name, and they still call themselves by Misri today, by the same thing. So then when you start looking at the people that was in Libya, they was called the people of Afri, or Ofri, because they believed that, especially in the book of Josephus, that those people traveled over from an area that was what we call Yemen today, but would have been known somewhat of a crossway over from where Put was. They traveled over to that land, or land of Punt, up to that land over there that's in Libya that we see today. So the northern Egypt was called Asia. And we got maps from Herodotus, them and all of them. It was called Asia because those were Asiatics that dwelt up there. We know because we know by the pottery. Now, how did it become a place to where it's a mixture between those that was in the south and also those that was up north? Because you have a mixture. So we're seeing Mizraim, this a mixture of what we call Afro-Asiatics, or somewhat Semitic, or these somewhat mixture of people of what that we see. And
Okay, now I see what you're saying now, and that's the connection. Like I mentioned in my book. See, you said North Asia, right? That was part of Egypt. That's where black and the Asians were mixed in. So historically, you had black African Egyptians that had the thin, skinny eyes like present day Asians do.
right, definitely. And so that's what took place. That's why when you start looking, you go up north, you got a mixture of some Asiatic and also some southern Nubia type of things that's going on. Now here's the thing. Even with Nubia was more so close to those Asiatics that came from the east because they would come into the Red Sea, or those people that was in Yemen, or those people that was over in Arabia that would cross over and trade with them. This caused a big problem with those that was in the north that considered themselves to be Mesraim or Mizri in that time, because and it caused it within the dynasties just as well, because the Nubians was always dealing with the Asiatics. And so the Egyptians, they dealt with more so some of the Levant people because they had control, but the Nubians dealt with some of those people too just as well. But it seemed like it was some people that was coming in from the east that were coming to Egypt, and also coming from the Levant, which was a moving around of people that just a gang of Asiatics, mainly coming from the desert, mainly coming from, these are desert people coming into the Nile Valley, coming from the east. And a lot of these people, they used to call them what was they called? They was called um the what was the people called?
Who are you talking about?
I think it started with an S. The Egyptians used to call them something. I forgot the is it shit? Something they used to call them people. They called them the Shashu, and then they also called them something else too. And it was called. It really called them demons or something like that. I think it was Shem or something like that. They was called, but they was really called. They was desert folk, and they used to come into Egypt a lot.
Were they called possibly were they called Cushwites?
No, not them.
Okay, or Shira Shama, maybe something. Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. So if we're talking uh, Egyptians coming from the north, right, or from the Nile.
Yeah. You well, not well Asiatics. They had a word for Asiatic. I forgot what it was though.
Asiatics coming from. Okay, I think I can find it. Hold on, go historical Asiatic people coming from the north to Egypt.
Yeah, they'll come either from the north down into Egypt, or they'll come from the east. But mainly because you got to look at the geography, because you just you got to cross, when you're crossing into from the Red Sea. You're coming across the Red Sea and you're coming into the Nile. You got to look and think of the geography. You just ain't walking in these mountains and just coming over. They don't work like that, And people think that because this is all desert, and so you got to find some type of wells, or you just can't. You ain't. That's like you going to California, New Mexico, and Arizona. Nobody's just walking in the plain desert unless you know that there's some type of roads or wadi routes, or where water is at, or wells, stuff like that. So people don't think about the geography, and they just be speaking, and they don't never look at the geography and say, well, hold on for a minute. These mountains, these people just think walk across these mountains. They came from these different wadi routes or roads that led them into these places. These are trade routes that lead you right into the Nile Valley.
I got a name here. I don't know if this is right. Origins of the Hyksos, Hyksos. Would that be them?
No, the Hyksos. The Hyksos didn't come till much later.
Yeah, Hyksos didn't come to much later, but that's one of that is some me personally, I have my opinion on that. I believe that the Hyksos is a amalgamation of people that comes from up north, like over in the land from the land of Aram, and they come from up north, also from the east, and they all, I believe, they are Assyrians for some reason. That's just me
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, I believe that too because a lot of what they brought with them, especially the iron weapons, as well as the chariot designs, horses, things of that nature. It seems like they did come from over there.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find the name. Okay, no, okay. These are just said scholars. Okay, you said it started with an S, right?
Yeah, yeah. I forgot what they called them. I think they was called. It's the word demon for, because the Meru always talking about it. I forgot. I think it's Shem or,
Wait a minute, Shem as in SHEM.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think they had that word means demon in it. Let me look at it real quick. Hold on.
Okay, now you say Shem means demon. I got a meaning right here. It says the name Shem is a Hebrew baby name. In Hebrew, the meaning of the name Shem is name renowned in the Bible. Shem was first named of Noah's three sons.
Yeah, but what I was trying to find out what it mean, and
In the Egyptian language.
Okay, Shem Egyptian meaning. Okay, hold on. I'll
that do
Google
that.
that.
Let me see. I forgot what they called it. Called them.
Yeah, we have to ask Maru because he's more familiar probably with that term than yeah, I don't know what that is. I did find something here, however, I don't know if it has anything related to that. Let me see if I can bring it up here. The source that I found says that the Asiatics were called the Stwit folk
Stwits.
or stew. I don't know.
Stew.
It's basically transliterated. It's STYW. They
S
call these
T
they call these the Asiatic folk.
STW.
STYW.
STYW. Okay. STYW. And type in Asiatic people. Asiatic Egyptian, maybe.
Yeah, you can do Asiatics. Yeah.
Okay, the thing came up says, did you mean STY, Asiatic people?
STY Asiatic people.
That's what Google came up when it says S. When I type in STYW slash Asiatics uh, uh, people, and then when you type it, sometimes Google have things that says, did you mean STY slash Asiatic people?
Yeah, I'm not sure about Google's correction there. Hold on a
Yeah.
second. Yeah, that may be something we may have to ask Maru.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe something that we have to ask Maru because I can't find that. The Hyksos is the only term I can find, but the Hyksos, I mean, they weren't until like Middle Kingdom. Like this was like, I think what you talking about, Laron, is this pre-dynastic?
I'm not sure actually.
Okay.
I don't know what when it
Uh, Look at my screen. Here's what I got. Look, see, you see where I typed in what he told me, STYW, Asiatic people, and then look what Google has at the top there, at the top left. Did you mean STY Asiatic people? I said no, I didn't. I'm just it's STYW, like you said. Maybe I should type in STYW Egyptian Asiatic or something like that.
No. So what that was is just put Asiatic after that. It's just for STYW Asiatic, and there's a book. Ignore what Google says. What do you mean? What you want to do is go down and you want to see a result from Google Books.
Okay, I did. Yeah, I got Asiatic style Wikipedia, Asiatic speaking style, Asiatic definition of Asiatic in English.
Yeah, it's none of those are gonna have it.
That's what I
So
thought. See,
what you want to
this is
do
what
is
I talk about when I talk about race and how white control this country and knowledge and everything. See, it's hard to find your own history even on the internet a lot of times. Like one of the books I have, the author's name is he's straight African, and you might have heard the name. It's hard for me to pronounce. Anti Chiak Diop, African, I think, African cultural mythology. I can go get it, but anyway, it's got words in there I can't pronounce, and when I try to Google them, for the pronunciation, they don't come up. So that's how deep that book is.
okay. Hold on a second.
Well, it goes to the threatened extinction of the Asiatic cholera. Okay, that's not what I'm looking. That's not what I'm looking for. Asiatic. I'm gonna type in his historical.
And you know what, man? I find it odd, man, and I haven't. I'm gonna have to talk to these brothers about this because you know I mentioned this a little bit when I talked about the followers of Horus, right? And I talked about how in the torn papyrus you have to where these demigods being listed, but we also hear about what you call the Shemsu Hor or Hor, the Shemsu Hor. You know what I'm talking about, Kevin?
Yeah, I heard you mention that many times before. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why you don't get Meru or you don't get these guys really talking about the Shemsu Hor. Like,
What do you
what?
what do you think is going on with them? What's up with them?
Because what I think they is I think they are the followers of Heru, and I think they're the Falcon tribe. But I think that there's some type of, to me personally, I think that when you see them, when you always see the Shemsu Hor, they always some type of clan or something. And they be having standards. They bear the standards, of the kingdom. And so
Okay.
I think that the Shemsu Horse is really some type of tribal or people, and they warred against also the Set, the children of Set, with the desert folk. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
These are
So
these are
they're called the Shemsu Horus.
yeah, Shemsu Horse. You gonna see it spelled Shemsu, Shemsuhor. Shemsu Hor.
Okay, and you believe that this group was a follower of Horus and they war
Oh,
with the desert uh priest?
yeah, the Seth. Because the conflict of Horus and Seth is all I would say is rather gay, but at the same time, it also did it also deals with a actual conflict of the followers of Horus and Seth, and
Okay.
so when you look at these followers, it's basically demonstrating that these two are two different people that are tribes of people that are have conflict with each other, and one it's really on some jail type stuff to me for real. It's like if you take a man's manhood, you're not considered gay, but if he take your manhood, then you're considered gay. So it's really dealing with that. It's on that mindset because that's how the mindset that the enemy got a lot of these people believing is
So
homosexuals within penitentiary.
so what you're saying is that so the document of the Chester Beatty Papyrus 1 talking about the contendings of Horus and Set was about that between those two clans?
Yeah, I believe it started off as that. I believe because these are two sections. When we look at Seth and this in the north, or when we look at the Neckin or Newt, we start dealing with two clans of people here. Uh, the Falcon tribe is a southern tribe to come in. That's your Nakata, probably your Nakata 2 period. And then after that, they come in and they wreck shop and they establish what we call the Nakata 3 period that we see, which is a mixture between these people in the south and also in the north, in the Nile Valley, in the Delta. And we know that because the pottery we see the pottery having different type of Asiatic customs rather than what we seen that was in the south. And those that pottery it is not lying. These people should be making a pottery the same, unless they all got that type of knowledge from somewhere. This is like when you look, that passed along. You just don't just out of nowhere you just making something that's the same as somebody else. That's kind of weird.
Right.
So what I'm saying is these people basically these Shemsuhar that we see, they are followers of Heru or the Falcon tribe that's down in Edfu in that area in the south to where we see it. This is the horse capital or the Heru capital or the Falcon god capital.
So if you already confirmed that this is the Falcon capital, or that is the Horus group, then what is it that you need Maru and them to confirm?
Well, you talk about the Shemsuhar, like why what I think that they were some type of priest, and I think that these are actually talking about Shem. I think that the priest of Egypt was Shemites.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think they was.
Hey guys, I think I have something. All right, look at my screen. This is the only link I found with that exact spelling, but it's it's an Egyptian word from the word setui or setiu. It's got its styw in parentheses in yellow. It's also translated as Asiatics, but refers more specifically to the Sutkins of Moab. When Idrimi 1500 to 1470 fled to the south of Syria, he met with Sutu or Sutkins and then lived 7 years with the Habiru Hebrews in the country of Kai and Anim.
Canaan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the same transliteration I gave you, though, right?
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, no, yeah, you gave me the STYW, but this is what this says here. The Egyptian word is the Egyptian word from this word, SCTIU. If you see my screen.
Yeah, I think that may be it, Laurent. You think so?
Yeah, I think so, but it's something else. But that's part of it. But I'm not sure. But at this point, but this is a good what's called right here, because when you start dealing with Moab, then now you start getting off into your Jordanians or your this in the this between this Arabian peninsula that you have to cross over to even get into Egypt. So a lot of these people was raiding a lot of the stuff that would come from the east and also from the Levant, because you might have to pass through there. Then you also had to pass through a certain part of Canaan, from Gaza and that area, the Gaza Strip in that area, and you had to come through these Asiatics. And a lot of these people was really raiders. They raided a lot of stuff, but I kind of like, and so, I think these people, these Hyksos, so I think that these people are Syrians. I think they come mainly from Assyrians. They come from up north.
Yeah, and I see. You see, I try to make it a little bigger so you can see it a little better. And these are from books. It says Get Print Book. The book title is called "The Pharaoh of the Exodus: Fairy Tale or Real History." So it's from a book.
Yeah. And then when Josephus translated it as the Hyksos, he said that they were shepherd kings. But when I
Hekaswasu.
looked at when I looked at Josephus, I mean not Josephus, when I looked at Whatchcall's work, he said something that made a lot of sense upon certain evidence that he got from other manuscripts of papyrus in Egypt. Josephus was really, he believed, was trying to say, when he was saying shepherd kings, he believed that he was really trying to say that they was kings over the shepherds. In other words, kings over Israelites. When he says
Nah,
shepherd king, you see what I'm saying?
right, but that's not the case though. Did you ever hear Wayne's theory?
Nah, no.
Oh man, Wayne went in depth, and we found a group of people that invaded Assyria from the Caucasus Mountains or from the north. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
these people invaded Assyria, and when they invaded, what happened was they were called the Gudians, and this is around third millennium. Well, when they invaded Assyria, they actually caused a lot of damage there. Not only did they take over the land over there, but they also caused a lot of problems with the irrigation there. They messed up the dams. They messed up how the flow of the Tigris and Euphrates and how it benefited that land. So when they did that, they were eventually chased out of the land by Hammurabi. And when Hammurabi came in, he established the Hammurabi Code. But at the same time, he also, if you look at what Hammurabi had to do, he had to rebuild the irrigation from the Tigris and Euphrates. He had to reutilize the river in order to bring fruit back into the land over there. Well, anyway, what eventually happened is that Wayne had actually traced and saw that these people, once they lost the battle there, they amalgamated with some of their allies that were there, and they made their way west. And they continued to make their way west and continue to amalgamate with different people there. Like they grouped in with the Canaanites, they grouped in with the Aryans. I think the Aryans were some of them, and the Aryans were the ones that actually settled in northern India.
Mm-hmm.
And so they continue to amalgamate and to gather and to go east. I mean, I'm sorry, go west. And when they did that, they actually established themselves as rulers or kings in various places across Damascus and Syria. And when this occurred, Hammurabi actually had them as vassal kings in these areas. So eventually, I think what happened, I got to speak to Wayne about it and see if this is still accurate. But when these people were they were known as kings because they were vassal rulership to Hammurabi back in Syria or back in that land. And basically, what occurred was they actually made their way to Egypt because of the famine crisis that was going on. And if you look in the Bible, if you look at what there was people that came from afar because of the famine that was going on. But you see, over in the east, Hammurabi already had to get this situation straightened out by setting up dams and the irrigation again with the Tigris and Euphrates in order to get that land back profitable the way it was. But these people, they were like nomadic people. They were still traveling in bands trying to get their things go together. So, what Wayne concluded with was that these people eventually, because of the hunger and what they had to do, made their way to Egypt, and when they felt that Egypt was a good place to settle, they settled there, and they eventually tried. They eventually took over. They took over because if you look at the story in the Bible, Joseph was trading with them, and here's the significant thing that Wayne found that blew my mind. Uh, Wayne found that Joseph. It says in the Bible specifically that they traded horses. They traded horses specifically, and so Wayne asked the question: if they traded horses, what was it? Who was it that they were trading with that they had horses like this, or that they had these things? But when you look at the history of the Hekaswasu or the Ixos, they were the ones who had this stuff. They had the horses. They were Asiatics. They were amalgamated. They came from the west, from the east, and they had these horses.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones that settled in Avaris,
Yeah.
because the Bible says that the Israelites came into Egypt in a number of 70. The Hekaswasu didn't come in a number of 70 according to the Egyptians. They came in a number of the hundred thousands or the millions. They settled in the Avaris. So I mean,
Yeah, so it's a lot of things to take in consideration. Yeah, but it's late, y'all. I'm sleepy. It's 4 o'clock in the morning here. Eyes is burning.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock in the morning here, so I'm gonna crash. But this was a good discussion.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Likewise, too, brother.
yeah, we'll talk more about this. I guess sometime whenever you're online, guys, or like G Conscious. I met you before anyway, like through Black Star and others, other hangouts months ago or a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, we definitely did meet. I remember you. So we definitely. I'll be back at it tomorrow because I wanted to bring out some things tomorrow concerning some stuff, and I think I'm gonna give me some rest and hop up tomorrow, grab a shower, and then probably be back at it again, man. A
Yeah,
little
me
bit.
too. Yeah. Plus, I'm going to sleep, and I'm off today from work, so I'll probably hit you up later today or sometime. If you're online.
Okay.
All right, man. All right, peace, brother.
Yeah. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for the brothers that's out there just listening in.
Yeah,
Peace, family out there. Peace and blessings.
yeah. Peace and blessings to you, G.
Likewise, too, brother. Peace.
I talk to you.